putting the two sides almost eyeball to eyeball. But first, let's talk about Rahul Gandhi's Pan Bihar Yatra. On its 10th day, the Congress MP reached Supal along with Tejasvi Yadav, where he got some additional firepower with the presence of his sister and Wayanad MP Priyanka Gandhi and Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will participate in the Yatra for 2 days and offer prayers at the Janki Temple in Sitamarhi tomorrow. It's being seen as a significant outreach to the women vote in Bihar. Subsequently, other prominent opposition leaders like Akhilesh Yadav and K. Stalin will also make an appearance in this Yatra. But the theme for all of them is common. Their focus areas may be different, but there is one overarching theme that the opposition is trying to take back the right to vote, which is purportedly being stolen from the people of India by the Election Commission together with the BJP. Now, both sides at this point are pretty much on two sides of the fence. While the Congress and RJD have branded the poll panel B team of the BJP and have accused it of opacity, the Election Commission has asked a simple question. Is this protest only for the sake of protesting? And if not, why hasn't the Congress actually engaged with the poll commission and participated in meetings that the EC has sought? Why has Rahul Gandhi refused to submit all of that proof on affidavit? And if the Election Commission is asking all political parties, all their BLAs, to submit their objections and claims, why is the Congress party conspicuous by its absence?
मेरे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस पे बीजेपी के एक नेता ने बयान नहीं दिया, मोदी जी ने एक शब्द नहीं बोला, अमित शाह ने एक शब्द नहीं बोला। जब चोर को पकड़ा जाता है, चोर बिल्कुल चुप हो जाता है। जब पुलिस वाले उससे पूछते हैं क्या किया, बिल्कुल चुप हो जाता है, कुछ बोलता नहीं हो, क्योंकि जानता है कि भैया पकड़ लिया, फंस गया।
ये लोग संविधान के प्रति इनकी लेस मात्र भी भरोसा नहीं है, इनके पास कोई जनाधार बचा नहीं है। बार बार हारने की हताशा से ये भारत की संवैधानिक व्यवस्था को तोड़ने में उन्माद है।
आजाद हिंदुस्तान में आजादी के बाद चुनाव आयोग के समक्ष और उनके सामने इतना बड़ा सवालिया निशान आज तक नहीं लगा था। छोटे मोटे लगते थे, छोटे मोटे आरोप लगते थे, लेकिन इतना गंभीर आरोप जहां ओपेसिटी, गैर पारदर्शिता चुनाव आयोग का आभूषण बन के रह गई।
झूठ को सच नहीं बना सकते। राहुल गांधी वोट चोरी एक थेथरोलॉजी है, थेथरोलॉजी के सिवा कुछ नहीं है। आज तारीख हो गया 26 तारीख, आखिर क्यों नहीं एक वोट को भी दाखिल कर पाए? इससे साबित होता है ये झूठ को सच करना चाहते हैं, इसके सिवा कुछ नहीं।
Well, Rahul Gandhi has said that so far there have been absolutely no answers to all of the claims, all of the allegations that he has leveled. That's not entirely true, because the Election Commission, remember, 9 days ago had held a detailed press conference. Subsequently, many within the government have also spoken. But now the Election Commission has asked some very specific questions about how sincere is the opposition really. They have put out the following arguments. First, that the aim of the Election Commission is to weed out any mistakes that may exist. Shouldn't political parties be cooperating in that? Two, that parties who are protesting on the streets aren't engaging with the Election Commission when they are invited to do so. Why is that? Three, that over 99% of the electors, actually 99.11% of the electors in Bihar, have already submitted their documents with 1 week still left to go for claims and objections, which means that electors actually are participating in the entire process of revision despite the politics and cynicism around it. And finally, that in the process so far, over 1 lakh electors have submitted objections, but less than a dozen, actually only 10 BLAs or block level activists of political parties, who essentially are representatives of political parties, have actually stepped in to do that. So they are claiming there are hundreds and thousands of discrepancies, but representatives of these political parties haven't actually gone to the Election Commission with any of these problems. Why is that? Because of all of these issues that the Election Commission has raised, today the big questions on the day's biggest story are: the Election Commission is now saying they wish to engage with political parties and clear the air to clear the doubt about the special intensive revision. Why is the Congress refusing to meet? If everyone actually wants the right to vote to be protected, then isn't fixing the voter list the only way forward, or is eventually all of this protest only for the sake of protesting? Joining us today on the buck stops here, we have Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress Party. We have Tuhin Sinha of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have Priyanka Bharti joining us from the RJD. And we have Mr. Mohammad Amin, who has seen the entire electoral process very, very closely because he has been an election commissioner himself. But Mr. Singhvi, I want to first start with you. But before that, there is some data that I want you and the viewers to see. And this data is actually very simple. It comes from what the Election Commission has put out. They have said that over the last 6 months, we have invited all the political parties to come hold meetings. In the course of these meetings, which were held over 6 months at various levels, they have been held with the BLOs, with the electoral officers. There have been over 4,000 meetings. In fact, 4,719 meetings that have been held with 28,000 political representatives from across political parties. Now, what the EC did is that it extended invitations to the heads of 6 national parties, the Congress included. Eventually, the heads or the representatives of 5 of those national parties did meet with the Election Commission in May. The Congress Party, however, asked for a deferral and subsequently did not get at all. Even 17 state party heads held meetings with the Election Commission in the period between July and August. The question then, Mr. Singhvi, is there are many, many problems with the electoral rolls. Mr. Gandhi, various political parties have pointed it out during their vote Adhikar Yatra. Why didn't they actually meet with the Election Commission and convey all of these objections and their problems?
You know, Padmaja, I mean, I find this whole thing some kind of a Kafka story, very, very strange, unreal situation. Everybody is beating around the bush and nobody is coming to the real issue, starting with the Election Commission. The Election Commission has initiated a policy at the end of June. That is in court. In court, the Election Commission has taken a stand, a very clear stand. The first stand was we will not look at Aadhaar. Subsequently, after 3 orders, it is still doubtful if they're looking at Aadhaar. And we will look at 3 categories where you must produce one of the 11 documents, most of which all relate to citizenship. Your birth certificate, 1 parent in yours, or 2 parents in you. I'm summarizing only. Now, if that is the stand of the Election Commission, where is the question of meeting for what?
Because they're saying that you have evidence, you produce that evidence in a press conference. Instead, we asked you, come hold a meeting with us, give us all of those documents. Last week, Ganesh Kumar, the Chief Election Commissioner, said, please give us all of this evidence on affidavit. That deadline ran out day before yesterday as well.
No, allow me to complete. I was my mistake. I thought you were talking about Bihar. You are talking about the Karnataka material, right?
Yes, the overall allegations.
No, not overall. The two are different. My answer was, in a matter where everything is in the open on affidavits, Bihar, what is there to beat on? There are 3 court orders. You have to comply with the court orders. What is there to beat about? It is to delay and avoid. Now come to Karnataka. I think the most perverse and bizarre stand has been taken by the Election Commission. Mr. Rahul Gandhi and the Congress waited for over 3 to 4 months to do research. They gave a dossier. The first reaction in any mature, developed economy, a democracy would be to say, look, we've got something from you. Give us a couple of weeks. We'll examine and we'll revert to you. The first reaction is the opposite. Shoot the messenger, ignore the message. Please give an affidavit. Second, there is no verification till now. You are beating around the bush. Why didn't you beat us? Why didn't you give an affidavit? I have nothing more to say than what I gave in the material with you. Where is the question? It is for you to either say it is on the face of it perverse, false, frivolous, vexatious. It says on the first page or the 5th page that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. We don't need to go ahead. Or it is to say that at page X, Y, and Z, your calculations are wrong, your assumptions are wrong. Not a word is said for the last 2 months or 1 month. The argument is, you are not meeting, you are against the most belligerent press conference, the most aggressive press conference, shoot the messenger, don't allow the message to come, and keep beating around the bush. So those are the two separate answers.
Okay.
As far as the Bihar is concerned, the third order, which I appeared in hardly a couple of weeks ago, requires you to look at all this. The answer comes that, look, we've got 1.98 crore or some such figure of forms. Is that relevant?
Yes,
Does
because
the
they are
EC
saying
tell
that the
you
people are
that those-
engaging with the election commission even when the Congress
Not at all,
party is not.
Padmaja. Not at all, Padmaja. Not at all. They tell you that those 1.98 or 2 crore forms which they have, what documentation is there? The first month was spent in asking people merely to file forms without any documentation. Without any documentation, please understand. That is the number they are quoting.
No,
Subsequent
no,
to that,
now they're saying
they don't-
99.11% of the
Correct.
documents have also come in.
Complete. Allow me to complete. Have they told you that the 99% who have given documents, what are the 99 of those 99%? Which are those documents? Let them tell you. What they should be telling you is that the Election Commission, was right because 99% of the people who have responded have attached birth certificates. Are they telling you that? No. I can wager a bet that 99% or whoever has filed documents would be either Aadhaar or Epic card or voter, which is all that we are asking for, or ration card. But their regime was, give me documentation of one of the 11 kinds, 90% of that is only citizenship proof. So whole issue is being fudged.
Okay.
Complete issue. Let me tell you today, let anybody on the panel tell you, I'm not engaging with the panel, whether there is any statement by the EC that the 2 crore odd people who have responded have given what we asked for, and therefore the Congress party and the entire country saying have Aadhaar, have Epic is all nonsense.
But Mr. Singhvi, the Election Commission is not the only one questioning the intent of all of these protests. Even in its last hearing, the Supreme Court, when it was hearing the pleas against the SIR, had said, and I quote, there are 1,60,813 booth-level agents of various political parties, and yet so far only 2 objections have been filed by them. Each one of these BLAs should go and register any objections or claims that they have with the Election Commission. This is what the Supreme Court had also said. All they are saying is you are protesting, you say there are problems, you are highlighting those problems on the streets, but you are not actually going the last mile and fixing those problems or even registering your problems with the EC.
You have quoted an observation of the Supreme Court.
Correct.
And not mentioned the reply which I myself gave to that query. I said there is no problem in the BLAs being activated. But I said equally, this is not the issue today. And the Supreme Court accepted it. I said the issue is that BLAs will remain facilitators. So let me explain to you. You have to understand this. Suppose there are 100 people who feel disenfranchised or unable or disabled. The BLAs will go and help them to collect the documents. The issue is not that at all as far as the final order is concerned. The issue is whether the documentation which the BLAs will assist the people to collect is going to be Aadhaar and Epic, or is it going to be a birth certificate? That's the issue. Now for that, the court repeated a 4th time or a third time in the order and orally, or Aadhaar or Epic card, or rather or Aadhaar, not Epic card, or Aadhaar. This or Aadhaar is not agreed to by the EC from June till now. The crux of the issue is that maybe a large part of the grievance goes away if out of the 5 crore people who are post 2003, you allow them to produce Aadhaar cards. We believe the coverage of Aadhaar in Bihar is over 70 to 80%. But the EC has never come forth and telling you this. They are telling you a fudging whataboutery that 1, 2 crore have filed forms. 2, what are those documents attached? We don't know. 3, why don't you meet the BLAs and why do the BLAs meet the Election Commission? 4, why does not Rahul Gandhi meet the Election Commission? None of this applies to the heart of the Bihar problem, which is, will you accept a Aadhaar card or will you remove 4 crore voters, of which 2 crores may not have a certificate of citizenship proof? That's the real issue.
All right, Mr. Singhvi, thank you very much. Is this entire argument of the Election Commission about engaging with the political parties mere obfuscation of the real issue at hand? Let's take it to a larger panel. Thanks very much, Mr. Singhvi. And let me take that first to Tuhin Sinha, in fact. Tuhin Sinha, Mr. Singhvi says very clearly, we don't want to meet anyone because there is actually no point. The real issue is the entire process is fudged in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now you can keep dancing around the issue and say that, listen, you should meet us, Rahul Gandhi should meet us, BLA should meet us. Meet and do what? A newspaper report said you're not even listening to the BLAs. The Election Commission is not even taking the problems of the BLAs on record.
Well, good evening, Padmaja. Good evening, everybody. Good to be on your show. You know, the very premise of vote chori is a myth. Vote chori is a hallucination. I have some data going back to 1989 Lok Sabha elections. In 1989 Lok Sabha elections, Congress party got 39.53% vote. Now they've got 41%. And in between, of course, in 2014, when UPA was in power, Congress had slipped to 23%. So actually, over the last 10 years, Congress vote share has gone up by 80%. Is that vote chori? You know, the Election Commission has been extremely kind to Rahul Gandhi.
One can argue maybe they would have gone up by 600% because of the surge in popularity.
Rahul Gandhi can live in an illusory world. First of all, you know, if you understand Bihar is a land of sanskar. Bihar is a land of culture. You know, over here, even people younger to you are called in a way, addressed in a very respectful manner with aap. So over here, when you use words like chori so frivolously, Rahul Gandhi's condition will be the same in Bihar, which was at the national level in 2019 when we won 303 seats. So first of all, he should be a little careful about his language. He has not been able to prove the chori allegation.
Okay.
You know, and there are obviously anomalies which we also agree. And that is why we are supporting SIR, which he has tried desperately to stall over the last 2 months, but he has not succeeded. On the contrary, the Supreme Court has upheld the constitutional validity of SIR. And in the last hearing, the Supreme Court has very pointedly asked the Congress party about the dubious role of BLAs.
Okay.
I'm saying BLAs, the dubious role of BLAs because we have seen how BLAs of Congress party have been misused to concoct a false narrative and drag in poor villagers like Minta Devi, like Ranju Devi, Aman Kumar, all of whom have been misrepresented by the Congress party. So this is how they are, manufacturing anarchy.
Okay, you're manufacturing...
Congress, just 10 seconds. Congress party has been non-existent in Bihar from 1989. It's basically struggling to, extract the maximum number of seats from its partner RJD. They have no other agenda.
All right, Adil Singh Boparai, why just insist on insinuations and allegations? Put it on record. The BLAs that we are speaking about, just to make it clear to the viewer, these are block level, booth level activists. And like Mr. Singhvi also explained, they help the voter in the entire process of this revision. Now, how many BLAs does each individual party have? Bharatiya Janata Party in Bihar has 53,338 BLAs. The Indian National Congress has 17,549. The RJD has 47,506 BLAs, almost as many as the BJP, whereas the CPIML has 1,496. Why do I mention the CPIML? Because Adil Singh Boparai, you would be surprised that the only 10 objections that have been put out by a political party are by the CPIML. They have at least decided to go ahead and said, this is the problem, fix it, with only 1,496 BLAs. Why can't you or the RJD do it as well?
Well, Padmaja, there is a fundamental problem in which this debate has been framed. It is not about the Congress party. It is about the sanctity of the right to vote. It is about democracy in this country. Reducing it to us versus them is a huge disservice to this democracy. Point number one. Point number two, again, a fundamental fallacy, unfortunately, is being peddled. The responsibility under the laws on preparation and revision of the electoral rolls is on the Election Commission of India.
Correct. But if you are alleging that there is a problem, it's your responsibility to furnish proof.
Number three, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, in a detailed conference, as a matter of empirical illustration from Mahadevpura in Karnataka, demonstrated from the ECI electoral records that there were 40,000 voters registered at house number 0, 00.
And there was a reason given for
number
that.
1.
These are bulk numbers. That was explained in detail. And since there is this whole myth of Mahadevpura about how there was a sudden and surprising increase in Bharatiya Janata Party votes, and which is why they won the Lok Sabha seat of Bangalore Central, let me actually give you data from 2023 Karnataka Assembly elections. Do you know that this same Mahadevpura seat was won by the BJP with a thumping margin of 44,501 votes. So it's not as if there is a sudden jump in the BJP's vote or vote share in Mahadevpura. They won it in the assembly elections, and then also people gave them votes in the Lok Sabha elections in this particular assembly constituency.
Unfortunately, your response is longer than my answer. And I thought I'm the panelist on your program.
Because I had to be more factual and I had to give you data.
So would you allow me to complete, or if you want to carry out a presentation, you're most welcome to do so. I'll keep mum. I have no problem.
No, but Adil Singh Bobra, here's the thing. We can have a rhetorical debate about the right to vote being taken away, or we can have a factual debate. You said it should not be framed as a us versus them debate. The point is that when you have Mr. Rahul Gandhi saying, we are going to come for the election commission, even if they are retired, we are going to come for you because you're B team of BJP, it has been clearly framed as an us versus them debate. I didn't do it.
Anything else? You want to say anything else? Now, can I get 60 seconds of uninterrupted?
Yes, please go on.
Thank you so much. Number 3, Mr. Rahul Gandhi from the ECI electoral record has demonstrated not just bogus house addresses, but he has also demonstrated that at one address, which is an 8x8 room, there are 40 to 60 voters which have been registered.
Okay.
There is no answer from the election
There
commission.
are answers. See, this is the problem. Adil Singh Bopara, we can answer each factual point, or we can keep repeating the same thing over and over again. You said your premise for the whole argument was that Mahadevpura was fixed by the BJP in 2024 Lok Sabha election. I proved to you with data that there was absolutely no swing for the BJP between the assembly results and the Lok Sabha results in this particular assembly constituency. My basic point is this. All of this that you are saying on a TV debate, why don't you simply go and represent this before the Election Commission? Have a meeting. Here is what the Election Commission has said about the meetings that they have sought. It says here, the party requested deferral. The invite was extended to President of Congress for 15th of May 2025. The party requested deferral and did not reply to subsequent communications from ECI for rescheduling. We can debate it on TV, or you can have a reasonable discussion with the EC in person. Why not?
The problem is, Padmaja, I wasn't going to say this, but you're conducting this debate in an extremely biased manner.
No, I'm conducting it in a purely factual manner.
Continuously interrupting me, and if you interrupt me once again, I will leave your program and go. If you interrupt me
we can either have a factual debate, or
you
we
must
can
let me
go on
complete,
rhetoric.
and then you can give your spiel after that. Let me complete. And then you can give your response after that. If you continuously interrupt me at every 20 seconds...
Okay, go on. You have your 1 minute 30 seconds. Go on.
I think you're doing a better job than Mr. Sinha, but be that as it may. Number 3, what is the Congress party's demand? And I don't think this warrants a smirk by anybody. The Congress party's demand is that
I also think the personal comment was unwarranted, and that's what the smile was for, but please go on.
Now, can I please complete, Padmaja?
Yes, sure.
What is the Congress party's demand, and why is the BJP, their ecosystem, their de jure and de facto spokespersons up in arms? We are saying, please give us digital, readable, electoral data. Why is the Election Commission of India continuously obfuscating that demand? Number 4, when it comes to Bihar, because much has been said about Bihar, let me remind your viewers that it was the Election Commission of India, coupled with the BJP, coupled with their allies in the media, who were continuously objecting to Aadhaar being used as one of the verification documents. Finally, it had to come from the Supreme Court of India that please accept the Aadhaar as a verifiable document. Number 5, the BJP and their allies cannot make a virtue out of necessity, because I was present in court that day. The ECII's counsel was opposed to and resisting the petitioner's demand for publicizing the list of 65 lakh persons whose names have been deleted. And we are extremely grateful to the Supreme Court of India, which said that no, you have to give adequate publicity to all those persons whose names have been deleted, so they have a right to legal redress. So therefore, the BJP, their allies, and their B team in the media has been continuously opposed to any kind of transparency. This is our problem.
Okay. Now,
what is happening?
Now, you've made your extended
No,
point. Now, you still haven't answered my basic question. Mr. Boparajah, can we actually have, like I said, a focused debate? You still haven't answered my fundamental question, which was only all of these things that you have said to me or to the BJP or its allies or its B team in the media, you can go and tell the Election Commission. Why aren't you doing that?
Because the Election Commission and the BJP, and unfortunately vicariously their ecosystem, is party to fabrication of electoral records. It is party to fabrication of electoral rolls.
Okay.
That is why the Congress Party's consistent position has
All
been.
right. So that was a pretty straightforward and honest answer. Mohammad Amin, there is a fundamental.
I don't need to judge whether it is honest or not honest. Please,
Okay, there's a fundamental breakdown of trust.
certificate.
How can you trust somebody when they are already in cahoots with the BJP? Why should anyone go and meet with the Election Commission when there is no trust between the two?
Padmana ji, everybody knows, the parties also knows, and country also knows about the Election Commission. Election Commission is the only constitutional body to hold the election in the country for the parliament and for the assemblies. But always asking by the Election Commission that if have they any objection, they can come and meet the Election Commission. They have any submit any applications or any grievances, they can submit to the Election Commission. But they never turn up to meet the Election Commission. But how then can possible, if they are having any problem in medically, they can go to the doctors only, and only doctors have the solution for that. So the constitutional body is the Election Commission of India, and Election Commission of India is holding the all process regarding the revision of the list.
No, but Mr. Boparajah just said that the EC is involved in fudging the electoral rolls.
No. Actually, Rahul Gandhi, LOP, has the objection in case of the Maharashtra. He has blamed to the Election Commission officials that they have included lot of the lakhs of the voters in the BJP in the voter list, and they have deleted opposition parties and Congress voters list from the Maharashtra. It's fair. Election Commission never does any partiality for anyone. Padmaja ji. And never any cooperation given by the even Bihar elections, Bihar SIR, they have not given any cooperation. Like we have the 32,000 approximate BLOs in the Bihar for SIR, and 4 lakh paid volunteers are for the assisting for the election process of the voter list. And the BLAs are also there for all parties are allowed, but they are not going to assist them. They are going to meet the press. They are always having the rallies, and the opposition never cooperate with the election commission.
So there has been no cooperation, Priyanka Bharti. Allegations, but no cooperation.
Pardon?
Padmaja ji, first of all, when ex-chief, when Mohammad Amin says that the patient should visit the doctor, I must say that if the doctor is conspiring with the Yamraj of Loktantra, will we go to that doctor? I mean to say is, we have also filed many claims, but I'll show you the proof. In fact, our BLAs have claimed whatever allegations they had and submitted the file. But see, these pictures, these affidavits, these are not being shown on the ECI's press release or any sort of board or system. So how can we trust the Election Commission of India as if it's working for the as Election Commission of BJP, not of India? And why we have concerns is, as Mr. Singhvi rightly pointed out, the system is becoming very Kafkaesque. The whole Indian process is systematically becoming Kafkaesque. I'll just name a story. It was called For Them Gazettes, that is before the law. So there are many doors behind doors behind more doors. So whatever is in the paper, that doesn't automatically come on the ground.
So you're saying there's going to be absolutely no collaboration, cooperation between the two.
I'll just show you a picture.
How will you hold elections in Bihar? It is the election commission which will hold elections in Bihar.
They want any justice.
Just look at this picture. Just look at this picture. Can you see this house? Can you see this house? This is a house in Vinodpur, Katihar, Purnia division, and it's locked since 20 years. But Election Commission of India has shown that 200 people are living there, and it's not a single house. There are many as such in Katihar. House number 82, booth number 222, 197 residents.
But again, that is something that has been very specifically addressed by the EC as the allocation of block numbers. It is done in Maharashtra. It is done in every single state. It is done in every cluster.
Just tell me. Just explain it to me. Whole India wants to know this. 000. Whole India wants to know this. No, Padmaja, just listen. Whole India wants to know if a house is locked since 20 years, how can 200 people be living in that house?
Mr. Amin.
That's a very specific question.
Mr. Amin, you're basically the Yamraj of democracy. How can they trust you? It all boils down to that.
No,
I'm
not calling Yamraj of democracy EC. I am calling Yamraj BJP.
Okay, Yamraj is BJP and EC is sitting with them. Mr. Amin.
If they have any problem with the BLOs, they can complain to the ERO, AERO or the CEO. But they are not doing anything. They are not supporting to Election Commission staff. Even they are not doing anything. Like, just example, I can give it to you.
They're not accepting our claims and file and submitted. How can they even talk about it?
To meet the commission. And Padmaja, and I think Mr. Singhvi is also coming.
Not listening to us.
Only 25 people can meet.
Look at this.
Our small room. There is always you have the press conferences there, and only maximum we can accommodate 30% in the training center hall. But they have not turned up. 30 MPs. They want to 300. I am going to tell you the whole election commission, from peon to chief election commissioner, we have the 300%. They are sitting in that building.
Commission is acting in a very inhumane way. They are even not considering the pains of BLOs, because BLOs are also saying we cannot accept Aadhaar card as a verifiable document unless we get written instructions from the ECI. The ECI till now has not provided us with such written instructions. Why not?
From the election commission.
Why
commission
not?
Not come to your house.
Then there is a fundamental issue. Adil Singh Boparai, how will the Bihar elections or any subsequent election ever be conducted? There cannot be another agency which does it. If you are saying we simply have no trust in the election commission, how do you propose that the Bihar elections be conducted?
Supreme Court.
They don't have trust in the election.
That's why we are going to the Supreme Court, and ECI
But
does
Priyanka
not
Bharti, the Supreme Court cannot conduct the elections. Every single polling officer, the entire electoral process will ultimately be done under the supervision and guidance of the election commission.
Padmaja-ji, election commission itself is not trusting itself. They said in Supreme Court, please repose some trust in us. It was Dwivedi telling the Supreme Court.
Adil Singh Boparai, and then
Supreme Court is also not
Adil Singh Boparai, are you suggesting there should be a court-monitored election henceforth in this country?
Padmaja, the problem is attributable to the Election Commission of India, and I'll give you a variety of reasons. I have never seen in the history of this country, and I've been a student of politics, where the Election Commission of India accuses the opposition party of misleading. We have given you data. You have to address that data. You have to address the problems. I don't think the Election Commission of India is also saying that, well, everything is hunky-dory. They are acknowledging that there are problems. If there are problems, and Mr. O.P. Rawat on your program has come on record to say that the onus lies on the Election Commission of India to allay concerns and to rectify their system.
Correct. And which is why it's a vicious circle. They are saying, yes, there is a problem. You are saying, yes, there is a problem. Then they are saying, tell us what the problem is. You're saying, we won't talk to you because we have zero trust in you. How will the problem be fixed?
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question in a constructive manner.
Okay.
So therefore, what does logic warrant? So logic demands, and probity and transparency demands, that the Chief Election Commissioner should set his own house in order. There is a need for an in-house inquiry. Instead of an inquiry into very serious allegations by a constitutional post holder, the Election Commission of India behaves like Mr. Tuneen Sinha's party and starts using and making
if the
outlandish
EC did not get its back up and 1 month ago or 2 weeks ago had ordered an inquiry, we would be well on our way to a smooth election in Bihar.
Not only does the Congress party not trust the Election Commission, it seems they also do not trust the Supreme Court. It also seems they don't trust the media, because I'm frankly quite amused at the snide remarks the Congress spokesperson has been making at you. But anyway, the point is, after last week, Sanjay Kumar of CDS categorically apologized for the fallacious data on which Rahul Gandhi has based the entire premise of his vote chori argument. If Rahul Gandhi had an iota of ethics left in him, he should have apologized to the country and gone back. He should have withdrawn his movement. But these people are doing it for ulterior motives. On your show today, the Congress person is once again raking up the issue of zero house. Zero, when it has been clearly explained by the Election Commission. Of course, those who have spent their lives in Lutyens' bungalows will not understand the pain of people who live in zero house numbers. So I think, there is a way Congress party is misleading the country, and every time they've done that, from 2018, whether it was Chaukidar Chor hai or whether it was Samvidhan Khatre mein hai, you've seen the result of Samvidhan Khatre mein, how they were defeated in Maharashtra and Haryana. This time also the people of Bihar are going to punish them.
Only 10 seconds,
and it's about time, today obviously Rahul Gandhi is...
Can I get 10 seconds?
Only 10 seconds, Priyanka Bharti, for a rebuttal. 10 seconds.
Tuneen Sinha quoted the data of Nasik, of Sanjay Kumar, and Rahul Gandhi used the data of ECI. Don't you have clarity about it? Rahul Gandhi did not use the data of Sanjay. He used the data of ECI. So you are again questioning the ECI as we did. Thank you.
Can I get 10 seconds, please?
Okay, we are out of time. 10 more seconds, Adil Singh Boparai. Final word on this. By the way, as far as Sanjay Kumar and that Nashik data and what Rahul Gandhi had quoted from Mahadevpura, there have been plenty of problems found in the Mahadevpura data as well, including people whose names he had shown during the press conference, who have stepped up and said, we did not vote 4 times. There were only 4 times we were registered, and we have asked for the cancellation of our other voter ID.
We can also quote the Malegaon data, but we don't take it in stride.
But here's the thing, there are multiple complaints until each one of them is highlighted with the Election Commission and fixed. We are going to go on interminably in this fashion.
Where is my 10 seconds? Can I get 10 seconds?
10 seconds. Please? Yes, Adil. 10 seconds.
Grateful. As far as Mr. Gandhi is concerned, we had nothing to do with the CSDS data.
Which I've explained.
It was our own research in Mahadevpura, number 1. Number 2, Padmaja, a food for thought for you. According to the ECI, 40,000 people have been registered at house number 0. Mahadevpura has an electorate size of 6 lakh people. So are you trying to say that almost 8% of Mahadevpura is homeless? Or are you trying to say that 8% of Mahadevpura is living at house number 0?
Actually, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because we will give data-based explanation for that as well. All of this, like I said, can be addressed, can be explained, and can be fixed if only people engage instead of constant finger pointing. For the time being, though, on this issue, the buck stops here. Thanks very much, all gentlemen and Priyanka Bharti. It's amply clear now that the Congress in particular and the opposition in general has decided to make SIR and vote chori the center of their election and political campaign. But when making such allegations, it is imperative that hard, incontrovertible evidence is produced. What has happened instead is that simple errors in voter rolls have been passed off as manipulation. Multiple allegations have been flung about, and what's been most embarrassing is that when some people have been paraded to tell outright lies that their names have been struck off voter rolls, and when the truth emerges, imagine how hollow this campaign sounds. Everyone wants voter rolls to be error-free, and rightly so. But for that, parties need to collaborate with the EC, provide proof, get their ground workers to insist that their voters are included. Because the opposition and Election Commission simply cannot afford to become enemies. Tomorrow, the party in power may change at the center, but the institution of the EC will always stay there. It will always be conducting the elections. And the big bug today that we simply will not let go of. Who hatched the plot to defame Dharmasthala? NDTV has learned that the investigation into the Dharmasthala case has now shifted to unraveling the conspiracy behind the appearance of the masked man, C.N. Chennaiah, and his claims about burying hundreds of bodies. In fact, the state SIT is now pursuing this very angle. They are now investigating whether there was a large-scale conspiracy. Chennaiah, we are told, has shared details about those who allegedly planned and coerced him to make such allegations. The coercion is believed to have started while he was staying in Tamil Nadu. This is not just about Dakshin Kannada or Karnataka. He was actually approached in Tamil Nadu and persuaded to act in this manner. Investigators have learned that this conspiracy was months in the making. As a part of this, meetings were done in Tamil Nadu, Delhi, even a petition filed in the Supreme Court. But when the apex court did not give this plea the light of day, the next step was to create a sensation. Sample this. The masked man suddenly appears with a skull at the police station seeking witness protection. The best part is, even though he claimed that the skull belonged to a victim, he never could really explain where he got it from. And now an FSL report is awaited to determine the origin of this sensational skull that was peddled as proof. And that's why tonight the buck stops on the one biggest question about the Dharmasthala defamation case. Who can be behind a plot so elaborate and so well-oiled that it extended all the way across the country? Is there a much, much bigger plan here than what we are seeing? And can the state SIT be able to unearth it? Joining us now on the buck stops here, we have my colleague Deepak Bopanna, who got us that exclusive news break. We also have with us Mr. Bhaskar Rao, Syed Asad Abbas, Rahul Ishwar, all joining us. But I want to start with you first, Deepak. And the question is, what is this Tamil Nadu angle? Because all this while we thought that this was limited to Dharmasthala, Dakshin Kannada, but the network is widespread. What's the Tamil Nadu angle?
Well, Padmaja, this individual initially, while he was working in Dharmasthala, he was married to a woman in Karnataka. He was in Mandya, but later on, this man goes and stays in Tamil Nadu. That's where he was approached. But more importantly, everyone has been time and again talking about, him asking the police to ensure that his identity is not revealed. He did not want to reveal who he was. He wanted witness protection and so on. But the truth of the matter is, even before he actually went to the police with that skull in hand, he actually went to YouTube channels and gave multiple interviews, all of them which are being aired now, because now he's no longer under witness protection. So if the intention of this man was to go to the police and get to the bottom of this case, there are question marks now arising as to why these interviews came up. Why was there an attempt to approach the court before that? Why was there a plan that was hatched in Tamil Nadu and then, in different parts of the country as well, different people getting involved? So it's becoming amply clear there are more men or more people who are involved. Who are these men? Why did the conspiracy come into place? Who was it just to tarnish? Were there greater gains here? All of this is something that a thorough SIT probe will be able to reveal, and a questioning of multiple people currently underway, and we could also see some arrests of all.
All right, and we'll be the first to report that. Deepak, there on the ground. Thanks very much for joining us. Those exclusive details, and that's what I want to know, Rahul Ishwar. What is it about Dharmasthala that somebody would make the effort to actually find this man, tutor him, have this entire campaign running from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka to Delhi? Why Dharmasthala?
Padmajaji, two submissions. First of all, as a Hindu right activist, I have personally apologized to Dharmasthala that people like us didn't defend them strongly enough earlier, because we were all carried away by this man saying that 100 kind of skeletons were found. It was such a gruesome murder. We were all a bit shocked, and we were, two minds in what to do. But right now, the entire conspiracy is unraveling. Strictest of punishment should be there. And let me be open and blunt in saying this. Sri Hegade is one of the most respected persons in India. He's a Rajya Sabha MP. He was defamed. His family was defamed. They were targeted with insinuation and innuendos. And people were all doing this because they thought this was genuine. And please see the greatness of India. Even a person as strong as Hegade, courts, mainstream media, they were all digging up the graves in expectation that this is true. But it all turned out to be a farce, and we feel cheated. And I think rightly so. BJP and Congress in Karnataka are feeling cheated. People like DK Shivkumar has taken a strong stand and changed the tune. See, we people were fooled like this. A Hindu temple was smeared, tarnished, defamed. Who should be answering? strictest of punishment should be given to them, and the conspiracy angle should definitely be unraveled. Whosoever this person was
and not just a conspiracy. This is a pan-India conspiracy, Syed Abbas.
Absolutely.
Pan-India conspiracy. Who are these people who are flying across from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu to Delhi, filing a plea in the Supreme Court, coming back, telling this guy, here, take a skull, go to the police? Who are these people?
I can name two people as per the SIT has released. They have been grilled and questioned. Both of them claim to be self-proclaimed Hindu activists. One is Girish and the other one is Mahesh. And both the individuals are found to be hobnobbing with leaders of the BJP. My dear friend Bhaskar Rao is here. They have also have links with the RSS. In fact, one of them is a sworn member of the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. There seems to be a politics between them. But the fact of the matter is, I'd like to question my friend Bhaskar Rao.
So now you're saying that the RSS wants to defame Dharmasthala, or people associated with the RSS want to...
I will answer that. The fact of the matter, I'd like to wholeheartedly thank our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Sidramaiah ji, who constitute SIT, and there, lo and behold, we see doodh ka doodh aur pani ka pani. Had it not been, the same Mr. Bhaskar Rao and BJP would come out and say, oh, who is Sidramaiah trying to shield? Oh, why is he trying to protect criminals? Now that everything is over, now my friend Bhaskar Rao and BJP will come out and be the flag bearers of my wonderful
Respond to this,
brothers and
Bhaskar Rao, and the
sisters
fact
Hindus.
remains that today morning, and that's the big news as well, that the SIT actually went to the house of Mahesh Timmarodi, the man that Syed Abbas was talking about. There is suspicion that Mahesh Timmarodi, who belongs to the Rashtriya Hindu Jagran Vedike, sheltered this so-called masked man in his house for several days. So this is a Hindutva conspiracy against Dharmasthala, is what now the new narrative is emerging.
There is a huge diabolical plot to defame the Hindu community and a prominent place of worship in Karnataka. And it is not alone. Probably this is the starting point. Gangs are coming together at the highest level, utilizing law, leftists, urban naxals, etc., to defame. If you see the sequence, neither the SP of Dakshin Kannada wanted a SIT, nor the range DIG wanted it, nor the additional DG wanted an SIT, nor the DGP wanted, nor the Home Secretary. Even so, the Deputy Chief Minister himself was not aware of it. Someone who has got some deep-rooted hatred, which is going back to an elected member of Parliament who served here as a Deputy Commissioner, his role needs to be examined, what exactly this diabolical plot is. Now that 5 villains are there in front of us. One is this Girish Mattannavar, the other is this Mahesh Shetty Timmarodi, then this masked man himself, who was known to everybody, then this Samir, that YouTuber, and that's Lady Sujata Bhatt, who was...
No, but Syed Abbas is saying that this is a Hindutva conspiracy against Dharmasthala, which is why Mahesh Timmarodi is involved.
No. See, don't bring in that angle over there. They have got other kind of access to grind, to defame the temple, and without applying their mind, the entire investigation was not in SIT's hands. Come on, who will dig 16 feet to bury a dead body over there? JCBs are employed, and people were digging all over the...
I will answer that.
And nothing came...
Respected sir, I'm glad.
Please don't talk to me. See, when a bone and a skull was brought to the Dakshin Kannada police station over there, when the Dakshin Kannada police station was brought over there, the police of Dakshin Kannada should have been allowed to investigate what exactly the prima facie. Under Section 27 of the Evidence Act, or the new act over there, he would have led from where he had got this, because exhuming a body is a very, very complicated legal process. So where did he pick up these stones over there?
That is the $1 million question, Mr. Rao. That is the $1 million question. Somebody who is enabling him, who is that person? Who are the people who finance him?
That is what I'm telling you.
You are saying it is some communist cabal or there is some international conspiracy, and now the other side seems to be indicating that this is infighting within the Hindutva right-wing ranks.
No. That is, they're trying to only defend themselves. Nobody, actually, if you look at the ground level, for Dharmasthala Manjunatha, there is no Congress, there is no BJP, there is no JDS. Everybody is an ardent worshipper over there. Someone who's had hatred inside this and wants to grind an axe. That is those are the people who are coming out of this.
Then why is Mahesh Timmarodi being raided?
What is
Mahesh Timmarodi doing in sheltering this masked man in his house?
That is what they let the SIT find out what he is doing. And the masked man was being tutored, he was paid money, Sujata Bhatt has been spinning lies, and people have been digging 15 feet, 20 feet to find out hundreds of bodies which was there, and government was in a great
And
hurry
Mr. Abbas, you're very conveniently suddenly dragging in a man who belongs to some Hindutva outfit, but you're not answering who is it who picked him up from Tamil Nadu? Who is the person who actually tracked him down in Tamil Nadu? Because this is a cross-state links which are now emerging.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question, and I'd like to definitely answer it. The fact, Padmajaji, can I answer your question, please?
Mr. Rao, quick rebuttal. Mr. Rao, a quick rebuttal from Syed Abbas. Just a second, yes.
Yeah. Firstly, let us understand that, Padmajaji, to the question that you've asked, ma'am, can I come in, please? Can I make my point?
No, don't try to put it back by saying that it is an RSS. It is a pakka leftist conspiracy to defame.
Padmajaji, can I be allowed to make my point?
This is obfuscation. Bhaskar Rao says this is a quote-unquote leftist conspiracy. You can't try and simply palm off the blame just because this Mahesh Timmarodi person has emerged. Syed Abbas.
I would like to wholeheartedly thank today the SIT.
One at a time. Mr. Rao,
Sir,
one at a time. Syed Abbas.
Can I be allowed to make my point, sir? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. The fact of the matter, let us understand, the same Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson over the last 1 week I have been debating with have been completely pinning the blame to Congress. They're also going all the way to Rahul Gandhi. They blame the urban Naxals, but they don't blame themselves. Respected sir, if Bharatiya Janata Party is a true party of our great Hindu brothers and sisters, why, sir, when all of those was taking place 3 weeks back or a month back, all of you were quiet, deafening silence, pin drop silence? Rahul Ishwar, my dear friend, a great activist, has apologized. I think BJP today should apologize. They waited until all of this. They should thank the Congress party, thank Siddaramaiah for constituting SIT so that they could bring truth right in front of everybody's eyes.
With the greatest,
the Congress party
Mr. Abbas, I have to say that's quite some confidence you have, saying that everyone should be thanking the same SIT, which for the longest time was digging up 17 places to say that there are some mass burials that are happening, that only serve to legitimize the complaints that there are mass burials or mass rapes or mass murders that happen.
Where did it come out of?
Okay, Padmajaji, I'll tell you. I will
not find anything. Now
we need to. Sir, can I complete? Can I complete my point, sir? Yes. Padmajaji, can I? Since you asked the question to me, can I complete my point?
When the first formula did not work out.
Padmajaji, the simple point that I'd like to derive is that the Bharatiya Janata Party today is. Sir, let us not speak over. Sir, Padmajaji, can I please?
Yes.
Can I please? Yeah, thank you. Padmajaji, the point that I'd like to drive home here is a very simple one. The SIT was led by the Chief Pranab Mohanty, one of the finest officers of the Karnataka Police. And Karnataka Police has gone to the depth of this. The Congress party is doing everything in its might. As per the SIT grilling and questioning, 2 names have come out, Mahesh and Girish. Both of them have found to have links with the BJP and the RSS. But now the Bharatiya Janata Party is pinning the blame on the Congress
Bhaskar Rao
party,
is saying that this is classic
unfortunate.
Obfuscation. You need a straw man. Now that things are falling apart, you need a fall guy to pin it all on. Whatever this Mahesh Timmarodi or Girish's angle is, definitely must be probed. But could they alone, could these small town activists from Karnataka alone have planned a conspiracy of this magnitude? I leave that to you. But ultimately, whether it is the SIT or a central investigation on this issue, the buck stops here. Thanks very much for joining us.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
माय बर्थडे गिफ्ट टू पापा, ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में, फिर 3 मैकेनिक, पेंटिंग, पॉलिशिंग। जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया है।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो। प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
NDTV 24/7 is India's #1 English news channel on YouTube. Credible, compelling, always ahead of the curve. Thank you for choosing NDTV 24/7 as your trusted source for news.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा टेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है?
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator, Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has.
All right, 9 people have been killed and several properties have been damaged due to heavy rain in Jammu. Tonight we bring these visuals from Jammu where a bridge collapsed with cars on it. Nature's fury unleashed in the area. Almost all the rivers and streams are flowing above or close to the danger mark, submerging a number of low-lying areas and roads in Doda district. All right, thanks very much for having joined us here today. Remember, when it's an issue that matters to you, the buck stops here.
माय बर्थडे गिफ्ट टू पापा, ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में. फिर 3 मैकेनिक, पेंटिंग, पॉलिशिंग. जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया है. बुलाओ.
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो. प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है. निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India. It matters to India. And it matters to me. And it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru. Only on NDTV 24/7.
India's defence game is no longer evolving, it's transforming. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025 brings together the sharpest minds. One day, big conversations, bold ideas. The mission is clear. Stay ready. Stay ahead. Leading from the front, the Honourable Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025. Warfare in the 21st century.
The biggest Modi visit in 5 years. The biggest India-China icebreaker. The biggest angle of the
have been to many commissionings. Vishnu a few more than me because he's slightly older than me.
He wants to rub that in. But that's just a side dig. Carry on with the...
Yeah.
Indian Ocean is where the action is happening.
By the way, before we began this episode, Vishnu was walking around this gun right now and having a really good time.
So you just get the things, modules together and you just put in the dry dock and tuck, everything comes together.
Greetings and welcome to perhaps the most special episode of Control Alt Defense. Vishnu and I today are standing on a piece of history.
Absolutely. I mean, it's incredible. Incredible warship, Project 17A, but, I got to keep quiet, let you talk a bit. Otherwise, I'll just prat on all day.
Vishnu is a Navy geek, so I have to control him a little bit today. But when we say we're standing on a piece of history, I really mean it. We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship. She's called INS Udaygiri. And the reason why this is a piece of history is because for the first time, the Indian Navy isn't just inducting this particular ship, but two ships of this kind. For the first time ever, two big warships are being commissioned into service together. Now, if that isn't history, what is? The Indian Navy, an incredible service, a navy that is respected the world over, welcomes these two beautiful ships into service today. And we are so honored, Vishnu and I. How lucky are we to have the commanding officers of both those ships standing with us here today? That's right, on Control Alt Defense, Captain Robin Chakravarti of INS Himgiri and Captain Vikas Sood of INS Udaygiri, the two new warships, the pinnacle of warship construction. Incredibly proud day, Vishnu.
No, I remember, about 25 odd years back, Shiv, I was lucky enough to get on INS Delhi. And she was a stunning warship, still is. But you see that evolution over the decades, something like this. And to think that this design is entirely Indian, it's been built to an Indian requirement. First up, gentlemen, and Commodore, let me ask you first. You must be incredibly proud about this commissioning command. Tell us what that feels like for you.
We're standing on your ship right now.
Yes, so it's an amazing feeling, I would say, because commissioning is like first of its kind. You set the traditions, you set the tone for the next 30 to 40 years of commission time. So it's a great honor that is bestowed on you by the Indian Navy and a great responsibility that you have to thereafter deliver. And the most special thing that is there is that you are like a father to the entire crew of 250 men under you, whom thereafter you would be leading for the commissioning ceremony, followed by the time of operations ahead. So it's indeed a great feeling, an honor, and a proud privilege to be bestowed this opportunity.
Now, and we are so proud to be here on on an incredible day like this. So I can only imagine what it's like for them. Captain Chakravarti, not one but two warships. That's amazing. Vishnu and I through our career, have been to many commissionings. Vishnu more than me because he's slightly older than me.
He wants to rub that in. But that's just a side dig. Carry on with the...
Yeah, but two ships is incredible. I mean, that's, tell us why that is so significant. Indian Navy with its huge expanding responsibilities is hungry for more ships. So getting two ships at the same time is a bonus, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, of course. Like you said it yourself, the responsibilities are increasing. Ocean is where the action is happening. Yeah. And Indian Ocean is going to be the future playground for all the, not just the navies, the nations around the world. And Indian Navy, as the preferred security partner, is very active in this area. Given the responsibility and the large area that is, the number of assets is required, and that's the reason we are getting these warships. They're not just numbers. It's not just the quantity. It's the quality of these warships also, because they have high speed and they have got very large endurance, and they can stay out at sea for long times. The frigates are very versatile ships to be. And so these two warships are going to add a punch, not just to the Eastern Naval Command, in particular, of course, Eastern Naval Command, but to the Indian Navy in general.
Yeah, and we're in Visakhapatnam, the headquarters of the Eastern Naval Command. Beautiful naval city. Yeah. We've been here, so many different times. But, I can't think of a time when we have been here at a time when two ships are being commissioned together. It's never happened before. But Vishnu, what are we standing in front of? By the way, before we began this episode, Vishnu was walking around this gun right now and having a really good time. Vishnu, the weapons. Let's talk about the weapons right now.
No, I think the weapons are absolutely incredible. And Commodore, why don't you come in on this? This is an upgraded gun mount. Eventually, all of the ships of this class will have this upgraded gun mount. She carries BrahMos missiles, MR SAMs as well. How does this represent one of the most formidable capabilities for ships of this class, not just in the region, but anywhere in the world?
So Vishnu, I would like to highlight one very important aspect in this class of ships, and that is the indigenous fire punch that we pack with us. Yeah. So weapons, sensors are very complex systems, and very few countries across the world have this capability to have very potent and very credible weapon and sensor package. So what the P-17 Alpha class of ship gets to the table is the fact that the larger majority of our weapons are indigenous. They are built, designed and operated and maintained thereafter throughout their life cycle by the companies and the wherewithal of India. And that's a really proud moment for us to have this opportunity and this capability with us that today we showcase. So if we take this, the Super Rapid Gun Mount, which is there in front of us, an amazingly formidable weapon capable of deploying ammunition across multi-domains for multi-role, multi-tasks. So the SRGM is one of the best weapons in the world, and we proudly host this on board our class of ship. Addition to this is also the BrahMos, which you spoke of. It's proven its mettle, its battle worthiness, and we feel amazingly proud to be today here having this capability with us. Again, an indigenous capability. What you see thereafter is also the integrated rocket launcher. So whilst we are very formidable in the above water warfare, the underwater warfare itself is also a very challenging domain that we face today. And in that also, if you see the package that we have with us, the integrated rocket launchers, two of them, they are again indigenous in nature and give us great capability. When I speak of the sensors also, the sonar, it's a Hamsa Mark III sonar that we are operating.
Indian sonar.
It's an Indian sonar. So that gives us the immense pride of hosting the entire capability which we are hosting is of indigenous nature. This AK-630 gun that we have, which has got huge firepower, is again something which is indigenous, made in Indian product, very reliable and battle hardened. So I would say over and all, the key takeaway of this platform would be that how we have grown as a Navy, of having made huge investments in indigenization, and this is not a product of I would say a decade's investment. It has been an investment of a long time, a vision of the Indian Navy to have our indigenous products, and we today very proudly showcase them to the entire world and to the Navy.
Captain, there's also this evolution of the design of warships itself. For example, we are standing on a flush deck. That means it's quite easy to fall off, but there's a reason you've done that. You want to ensure that she's a more stealthy ship at one level. But this is a follow-on design from the Shivalik class, very different in many ways, similar in other ways. And that's a process. It's a process over decades. How is this an Indian warship for Indian requirements, designed by Indian architects? It's not something you buy from a supermarket and make do with. It's exactly the way you want it, right?
So just if you allow me to build up on what Komodo Sood said, if I have to add one more line, I'll say incredible firepower, incredible effects, and formidable presence. But this comes along with, the stealth. You're talking about design. The main concept behind the design of these ships that you see, the reason why, though we won't let you fall off the deck, but of course the enemy will fall off this chair trying to find us on the radar. We are very stealthy in the sense because the design has been made in such a way that it reflects the radar waves away. And the stealth is not just in the radar over the sea that you're seeing. It's also got acoustic stealth. That means
it's a quiet ship.
Submarines, yes, it's a very quiet ship. So submarines will find it difficult to catch us on the sonar. So he won't be able to see us there. We are invisible on the battlefield itself. And also the infrared signatures of the ship, the things which are coming out from the gases and all, from the engines and all, they're also cooled. So we have also got infrared stealth. So stealth in all domains. We are across the thing. And talking about the construction that you're talking about is that the ship is not just built from the keel up, as used to be the erstwhile ships.
The keel is the hull.
Yes,
basically.
the hull.
Yeah.
So earlier ships used to be built up from the hull upwards. This ship has been, it's a modular kind of a ship, like we really see in our, stuff which has been done everywhere. Nowadays, construction is very modular. This allows us to make the ship faster, and not just faster, smarter, because the different parts are made in different shipyards.
So the ship is being built in slices.
And they're brought together.
Amazing.
And so you can engage different MSMEs, you can engage different shipyards, you can engage different people. It gets done faster. It occupies less of time on your planning schedule, and it occupies less time on the dry dock. Because dry dock is a premium in India and anywhere in the world. Dry docks are the place where the ship is put and put up together. So you just get the modules together and you just put in the dry dock and tuck, everything comes together and the ship is built up and it's good to go. So it's not just faster, it is smarter.
And this basically means the shipyard doesn't have, I use the word waste because I can't find a better word, but that space doesn't need to be wasted, waiting around for the entire, long process of the keel up sort of build. But this also means that these can be built much faster and at short notice, I'm assuming. So if theoretically, this is the second and the third ship of this class to be commissioned this year. That's incredible, right? With the INS Nilgiri, which is the lead ship of the class, was in January this year. You've got these two ships now. The others will come very soon after. So that's like a incredible rate.
That is truly incredible India and incredible shipbuilding, I would say.
Yeah.
Warship building.
But what's interesting is that these ships are being built in two parts of the country, separated by the peninsula itself, in Mumbai at Masgaon and Garden Reach in Kolkata. That shows a great deal of confidence in the ability of different shipyards to build something complex. Ultimately, if you don't trust a shipyard to build to a particular standard, the Navy won't accept the ship. So there is trust reposed at so many levels. Would you agree? I mean, either of you?
Absolutely. In fact, the good part is that it adds to a strategic depth of warship building. We have now multiple yards which are building warships. And the good part is that both the warships are exactly the same. If you stepped on this warship and I blindfolded you and I took it to the other ship and I would put you there, you would not, to a discerning eye, you would not find many differences between both the ships. Maybe little aesthetics here and there, but the ships are predominantly the same. And two shipyards like you just brought out on both sides of the peninsula, getting it together in time, and it is a big achievement.
No, I want to emphasize that what Vishnu said, because a warship is an incredibly complex machine. I mean, I can't even think of how many millions of parts, big and small, go into the construction of something like this. So, to do it in a modular fashion in two different shipyards separated by the peninsula, I mean, hats off to all of the workers and construction engineers and people who've actually put it together. It's truly a big feat. I want to come now, Commodore Sood, to the aerial threat. We know in the modern battle space that drones, missiles are all threats to warships, no matter how stealthy they may be. Tell us about these ships. How are they protected against the aerial threat in terms of missiles, guns, sensors? How does it all come together to sort of create a protection for these ships?
Yeah, so I would say like in the present developing threat scenario which we are encountering across the globe, I think so the largest strides are being made in the domain which you are speaking of, that is the aerial domain. So to counter the threats which are existing in the aerial domain, this platform is very formidable, very capable. The MF Star radar of this platform can pick up air targets, missiles at extended ranges. The ship is able to provide not only a point defense to itself, but it's got the capability to defend a large fleet which is traveling together, to provide support and protection to vital assets which it may be tasked to protect. So in multiple domain, the ship has got capability, and as has been the concept of the Navy, that redundancy and providing multiple layers of defense is what we work on. So in this ship as well, we have got a layered defense system in which in the aerial domain, when we are looking towards that, starting off from a far range of roughly about 70 to 80 odd kilometers onwards, when we are looking at threat which may be emanating. We have got a layered defense in which right from our missiles to the multiple guns which are available on board the ship, they will be able to deter any kind of threat which is trying to either threaten the ship or the fleet which the ship would be operating towards. It has got really credible systems. And the fundamental of that continues to remain a layered concept and a huge amount of redundancy, because as you all understand that when we go to battle, you have to be prepared for problems, issues, threats which are there which you have to tackle. So you have to have invested heavily in a lot of redundancy which this platform is able to pack together.
Captain, integration is difficult. It's not easy at the best of times. In as much as this is an Indian warship, there are many weapon systems which are of a foreign design, many made in India, but there are some foreign components as well. And integrating it all must be very difficult. One system built in one part of the world needs to talk to another system built in another part of the world. That means a lot of software. That means a lot of software engineering. You showed us a few of the multifunction displays and how it's, it's one massive computer at one level, this entire warship. Could you tell us how that's a huge challenge in, realizing the potential of this warship?
So it's nothing new to the Indian Navy. Actually, Indian Navy has been, at the forefront of incorporating the best technologies from across the world. You are aware that you've been to the previous ship. You mentioned Delhi, which was another indigenous destroyer that we had, and it also had weapons from various places. So we had Russian, we have the NATO versions. We have been very good at integrating these things and operating them very well, and achieving what we have to achieve. In our case, we have got a very a CMS, the Combat Management System, which runs, all the systems are talking to each other. There's a one single backbone on which everything is running.
The CMS is Indian. It's a completely Indian thing.
In fact, when you say the other things are from other countries, they may have originated in other countries. They are transfer of technology to the Indian firms which are working with them. We are making them in India. You may say that the gun is Italian, but of course it's being made by BHEL, and it has got transfer of technology here. Similar is with MR-SAM, BrahMos. It's a collaboration. We call them, we consider them primarily Indian. When we look at it, I'm a gunnery officer and I don't look at it as it's a Russian weapon or anything. I see them all as Indian weapons, and they are totally enmeshed and integrated into our system.
Your father was on a Leander class, right?
Both our fathers have been served on Leander class. My father was an engineer.
And the significance of Leander is obviously the names of the ships. I mean, there was an old Udaygiri, an old Himgiri, or old Taragiri, which in the past were Leander class ships, and now you've got this. And so your parents served on the old ships with the same name.
Even I served on the old ship. When I joined the Navy, I did my midshipman time on Dunagiri.
I see.
And that was my first ship, and which is the next ship to come out from the GRC anyways. I studied not too far from here in the Naval Children's School here. I was studying here. Visakhapatnam is the city of destiny in that sense for me. But yeah, it is a deja vu, it's a feeling of deja vu. Earlier, I used to come in as a son of the officer on board, and I would be pampered by young lieutenants there. Now I am pampering those young kids who are coming on board, trying to inspire them to join the Navy and show them what they are in for, and show them that the future is bright in the Navy.
No, it's incredible. Commodore Sood, your father as well was a naval officer and
yeah, so
served on board a Leander.
So my father actually served for 2.5 years on board the old Udaygiri.
Oh wow!
So I have the proud distinction of serving on board my father's ship itself, as we have it in the army.
Is he going to be here for the commissioning? Or?
Yeah, he'll be there for the commissioning.
Wonderful.
Really motivated at that stage, and I would say I always aspired to be a naval officer myself, seeing my father all these years, and it's a great feeling, and it's a really proud feeling. Navy is not a service, it's not a job for us, it is like a way of life. We kind of feel really happy to be part of this. Wearing this whites gives you immense pride. I still remember just wearing a ribbon on your chest in our younger age used to give us so much sense of satisfaction and so much immense pride that we used to derive out of that. So being a second generation naval officer, I think so it's a great feeling, and to have been serving on board your father's unit itself is really special in itself, and he's also a really proud father. And both the ships, I think so, they are state of the art. They, during the time when they were in commission, the most formidable platforms that the Indian Navy had. But we have travelled a huge distance from the erstwhile Udaygiri, the Giri class, to the now new avatar that they have come about. So I would say the Navy has grown leaps and bounds, and we are very proud to be part of that legacy and the journey that we are having now.
Well, gentlemen, it's been wonderful speaking to you, and it's been a real privilege for Shiv and me just to see the process of evolution in the Indian Navy over so many decades. Congratulations once again on commanding warships like this. Absolutely state of the art, absolutely made in India, and may she sail well and may you serve well. Thank you very much for joining us on NDTV.
Shano, Varuna, fair winds, happy hunting in your grey safaris, and hopefully once you're out there, Vishnu and I will be invited back on board when the cameras have to be off. Hopefully that will also happen at some point. Thank you so much, and thank you for your service, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jammu and Kashmir holds an emergency meet as massive flash floods from the Doda district leave rivers and streams in spades across the Jammu part of the state. In fact, Jammu-Srinagar highway affected. Floods affect Pakistan as well, and the Met department has predicted very heavy rainfall. A historic moment for Indian Navy as warships INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri are inducted to the Indian Navy. On the Dharmasthala controversy, Public Works Minister and Congress leader Satish Jarkiholi demands an NIA probe, even as the State Home Minister has firmly declared that the SIT was competent enough to probe the case. Husband murders wife in forest. This is a horrific incident being reported from Hyderabad. The husband set the wife's body on fire.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
The biggest Modi visit in 5 years. The biggest India-China icebreaker. The biggest angle of the tiger and dragon. NDTV reports from Ground Zero, China.
Modi's first China visit since Galwan. I'll be tracking his every step.
The news breaks, the body language, the mind games of a new beginning.
Live from Tianjin, NDTV ensures you miss nothing.
India's defense game is no longer evolving, it's transforming. The NDTV Defense Summit 2025 brings together the sharpest minds. One day, big conversations, bold ideas. The mission is clear. Stay ready. Stay ahead. Leading from the front, the Honorable Defense Minister, Rajnath Singh. The NDTV Defense Summit 2025, Warfare in the 21st Century.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
NDTV 24/7 is India's #1 English news channel on YouTube. Credible, compelling, always ahead of the curve. Thank you for choosing NDTV 24/7 as your trusted source for news.
The biggest Modi visit in 5 years. The biggest India-China icebreaker. The biggest angle of the tiger and dragon. NDTV reports from Ground Zero, China.
Modi's first China visit since Galwan. I'll be tracking his every step.
The news breaks, the body language, the mind games of a new beginning.
Live from Tianjin, NDTV ensures you miss nothing.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है.
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold ICICI CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold?
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
And breaking news coming in at this hour, the army officer who assaulted 4 SpiceJet employees at Srinagar airport last month has been put on the no-fly list for 5 years. This has come as the top aviation body cracked its whip. Yes, Director General of Civil Aviation has ordered that this man will be put on a no-fly list for 5 years. This has been done after he was caught assaulting SpiceJet employees at Srinagar airport. On July 26, the army officer who was scheduled to board a flight to Delhi entered the airport carrying 2 cabin bags when the airline ground staff stopped him. For domestic flights, cabin luggage weighing more than 7 kg affected and attracted additional charges. He was informed of the same, but he became irate and started misbehaving. The videos are doing rounds on the internet, and also the army had to face a backlash over it. But now the aviation body has put him on a no-fly list, and he has been banned from flying for 5 years for that misbehavior. And the countdown has started for US President Donald Trump's 50% tariffs on India. Tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. is when these double tariffs will come into effect. But is India ready for the Trump's tantrums? Will India-United States ties will now fly or fall? India has made its stand clear that we will not make any compromise, no matter how terrifying times come. PM Modi has said it loud and clear that nation's interest is priority over any nation. So why is Mr. Trump still playing his tricks? Let's break it down for you as we deep dive into why Trump tariffs are not so terrifying for India. First of all, it is a 50% tariff slap that India is facing. Direct or indirect Russian oil imports is why we are facing this tariff. Acknowledged. Then the target is of India that India is accused of skirting sanctions as they continue to trade with Russia and also buying cheap oil, as Trump says that this is what India is doing in encouraging Russia in its war against Ukraine. But what's the reality and how hypocrite this argument is, we'll continue to deep dive into it. Now, what will happen after the 50% tariffs? All imports will be taxed unless there is a loophole. Pre-shipped or tariff-exempt products are shipped. If the products have been shipped, are there overnight, they're doing it round in the sea, then these will not face any tariffs as the double tariffs come into place from tomorrow at 9:30. What will this impact? This hits trade, not just oil. Wider Indian goods are also impacted after these tariffs take into place tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. There is no relief for India, no stacking relief. This means that tariff applies even on top of the others. If there are existing, then it is on top of it that India has to pay 50% tariffs to the United States. Now, US is also monitoring other countries who are trading and buying Russian oil. Even they can be next. But will that happen or not? Or India is just the only one which is facing this axe of 50% remains to be seen. Why this has been done? Because as per the White House, as per the US, security threat, there is a security threat. Order cites national emergency powers have been used to provide 50% tariffs to India. There is also a retaliation clause included into it. US may escalate retaliated against. If India and other countries decide to retaliate, then US will again impose retaliatory tariffs. This means that more than 50% tariffs can be implied or applied to any other country. While the agencies are on war footing, be it our commerce, treasury, state, everyone is monitoring the compliance. Also, India is also very keenly watching on how it will impact, what are the measures that India can take. But one thing that is clear is the Prime Minister of India has said that India will never compromise when it comes to nation first. Listen into what Prime Minister Narendra Modi had to say.
मेरे देश के लघु उद्यमी हो, किसान हो, पशुपालक हो, हर किसी के लिए मैं आपको बार बार वादा करता हूं, मोदी के लिए आपके हित सर्वोपरि है। मेरी सरकार लघु उद्यमियों का, किसानों का, पशुपालकों का कभी भी अहित नहीं होने देंगी। दबाव कितना ही क्यों न आए, हम झेलने की अपनी ताकत बढ़ाते जाएंगे। मैं आपसे एक बार फिर अपना आग्रह दोहराना चाहता हूं और आज पूज्य बापू की धरती से देशवासियों से भी मैं बार बार आग्रह कर रहा हूं, हमें जीवन के अंदर एक मंत्र बनाना है। हम जो भी खरीदेंगे वो मेड इन इंडिया होगा, स्वदेशी होगा। घर की साज सज्जा के लिए जो भी सामान हो, मेड इन इंडिया हो।
And let's deep dive into it as my guests join in to analyze it. William Bouter, American-British economist, and Jayant Krishna, Senior Fellow, Strategic and International Studies. Thank you so much for both of you to join me at this hour. We are countdown, just few hours away from India facing that 50% tariff. Mr. Jayant Krishna, how do you think, how will this 50% tariff affect India's GDP growth, and what measures can the government take to mitigate the impact?
See, Aditi, one thing is very clear. Let's immediately look at the kind of products which India exports to the US, right? There are products like textiles, garments, leather goods, gems and jewelry, plastics, chemicals, smartphones, pharmaceuticals, oil seeds, these kind of products, right? None of these product categories have a margin to be able to absorb 50% tariff, the impact of 50% tariff, and nor can 50% tariff can be passed on to the US customers, right? So I think a bulk of this is, to my guess is at least 50% of it will be impacted, because products like, bulk drugs in pharmaceutical category, semiconductors, I mean, not that India is a major producer, but especially smartphones, these kind of products are exempted. They'll continue to have 0% tariff, right? So if you keep aside those products, out of almost 80 to 90 billion dollar worth of export that India does to the US, my guess is almost half of it will suffer, will not. The only category which could have absorbed, which has the margins which could have absorbed part of this tariff was gems and jewelry, which is anyway not doing good these days. since the advent of lab-grown diamonds, right?
Right.
Vis-a-vis the natural diamonds, right? So I think it's going to, it's going to be impacted. How India is preparing for it? India is preparing. It's already signed FTA or near FTA equivalents with Australia. It has signed with the UK, with UAE. Discussions are at a very advanced stage with the European Union. Discussions have started again with even Canada after the change of regime there. So, so that we expand our trade to various parts of the world and not just US. I mean, we have been exporting, but US has been a major one of the largest countries that we export the products to.
Yes.
And US is actually the second largest trading partner of India after China. And not only that, if you look at the foreign direct investment, the country from where the maximum amount of FDI flows to India and last several years in a row has been the US. So US remains very important. Other thing, I think India is looking upon this crisis as an opportunity to reform. And one reform where government has already shared the contours thereof is the GST slab rationalization. Government has already said that, it will bring down the 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%, these four tariff, the GST
Tax
categories to 5 and 18%. So, this will stimulate domestic demand, and part of the loss of exports to the US, to my mind, will get offset because, almost 99% of the goods in the currently 12% slab will transition to 5%, and almost 90% of the goods in the 28% slab will transition to 18%. So I think the domestic market will get stimulated, and it will absorb a substantive part of, it is expected to absorb a substantive part of, the loss because of exports to the US. That's my take.
Rightly said. So, Mr. William Bouter, let me also bring you into the conversation. India is not the only country which is buying oil from Russia. China and other countries are buying it too. Do you think Trump's targeting India, it is fair?
I don't know whether it's fair to target India and not to target China, which is the largest Russian oil importer. The one sort of special point about India is that it basically imported hardly any Russian oil in 1922 before the invasion of Ukraine, and now it's the second largest oil import from Russia. So it has massively increased its import. It's the only country that has done that. Europe and the US, they're still importing some stuff from Russia, but they've been scaling back. So China, I think, is unlikely to be targeted, although they should be if the US are serious about penalizing those who fund the Russian war effort. But India is unlikely to escape from this. The only favorable outcome is an unexpected peace in Ukraine, which would cause all punitive tariffs, the secondary tariffs, of course, to be lifted, and other sanctions.
Okay, point taken. Mr. Jain Krishna, how do you think is Trump twisting India's arm in order to strike a deal with Delhi as well as Moscow? Because we saw the beast bonhomie of Putin and Trump in Alaska. Do you think these tactics are only to strike a deal?
So, I mean, it is very surprising. On one hand, US is, sending sweeteners to Russia, right? And in the same breath, it is penalizing India, for importing, almost 40% of its crude oil requirement from the Russia. And despite the fact that China imports more crude oil from Russia than what India does, and if you look at the total imports that India has from Russia, are lower than total imports of European Union from Russia. So it's very unfortunate what is being done. And 50% tariff. If you look at other countries, European Union, all the countries with whom we compete for exporting to the US, European Union, it is 15%. Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines is 19%. UK and Japan is 10%. South Korea 15%. Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Taiwan is 20%. And China is 30%. And only two countries, major countries which face 50% tariff, are Brazil and India. It's extremely unfortunate. It defies all laws of international diplomacy and negotiations. I would believe that India has to, resume negotiations as early as possible. Unfortunately, the negotiations which were expected to start a couple of days ago have been postponed indefinitely by the US, right? So
Right.
I think it has to rather than getting into any reciprocal tariff or any word of wars. Even though US seems to be believing in that language these days, but India has to protect the very, very genuine aspirations of our large multitude of small and marginal farmers and small dairy entrepreneurs and fishery farmers. We have to look at this, because if we don't take care of them, they are the people. They are very vulnerable sections of our society.
Right.
They're the people. If we don't protect them, it will be like nailing putting the last nail in their coffin, right? So I think it's very, very important that India is not bulging from its stand on agro products and milk products.
Okay. Mr. William, analysts say that tariffs will not just hurt India, but also the US economy, which faces risk of higher inflation and a possible slowdown in the days ahead. So is Donald Trump making America great again, in your opinion?
I think tariff wars are never a good idea. The only positive aspects for the US economy is that it is a tax, so it increases government revenues and reduces the government deficit. That's it. For the rest, it's painful. It damages US consumers, importers of intermediate products that are used for domestic market or exported again. But it makes really no sense. However, remember, only 25% of the 50% tariff on about half of Indian goods products is due to the Russia link, right? Without the secondary punitive tariffs, it would still be 25%, higher than most of the other countries. And the reason is that India imposes high tariffs on many US imports. Not 25% on average, but really worryingly high. And so there is a real issue once the Russia thing gets settled to negotiate a mutual reduction in tariffs. And I do believe that India, if it wants to protect its farming sector and other vulnerable sectors, should do so through government expenditure and tax cuts, not through tariffs. Lower tariffs for India would benefit Indian households, including the poor. So it is not something that India should not be ready to negotiate on.
Okay, Mr. Jayant, Krishna and William Bouter, thank you so much for joining me for a quick discussion on what comes ahead. PM Modi has made it clear we won't accept this bullying, but what's the road ahead is what we'll see tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. when these 50% tariffs become on India an actual reality. For now, shifting our focus to more breaking news coming in. Soon after the centre cleared at rupees 62,000 crore deal to buy 97 more LCA Mark 1A fighter aircraft, India is close to signing a deal of around $1 billion with the American firm GE for supplying 113 more GE 404 engines for the indigenous combat aircraft. Indian state-owned firm Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has already inked a deal, and for more, my colleague Vishnu Shom is also joining me. Vishnu, give us more details about this deal and how close is India to negotiate this deal with the US?
Well, I think the process of negotiations would have started, and the fact that India has already, in a 62,000 crore rupee deal, gone ahead with ordering several more Tejas Mark 1A fighters means that all of these fighters would need engines. The engine in question is the GE-404. It's already being used in the Tejas Mark 1A fighters, which are just very slowly entering service. But now the government of India has actually put a great deal of trust on General Electric. They've won a massive order, the value of which would be more than $1 billion, to supply, more than 100 GE-404 engines for the forthcoming Tejas Mark 1A fighters, which they put on order. And therefore now General Electric, which has been a bit slow in terms of delivery of the previous lot of engines for the Tejas Mark 1A. Remember, there's a huge order, a previous one, which has already been signed and done. They need to speed up the process of supplying these engines. And simultaneously, they would need to get into a larger agreement with the government of India to set up a joint manufacturing facility, I believe, over here in India, to manufacture an engine called the GE-414, which would be the engine which India wants for the Tejas Mark II, which is a more advanced version of the Tejas Mark 1A. But that's a later story, but all in all, it's big business for General Electric. But let's hope the deliveries take place on time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Vishnu, for joining us with that quick update. And more breaking news coming in at this. Former Planning Commission member Saida Hamid has taken a U-turn on her stand on Bangladeshis. She has now said that I have the most beautiful experience of Assam. I've been to every nook and corner of Assam, but I was never conscious of the fact that I'm a Muslim and a woman. Right now, suddenly my name is all over India. Bangladeshi has become a cuss word now. It has become a horrendous word now, she has said, and even if a few Bangladeshis have come in, let's sit down and negotiate with them and escort them back. This is a U-turn from her earlier statement where she said that Bangladeshis who have come to India have the right to vote, give them voter rights and deal with them. But now, after facing huge setback and outrage and protests have also taken place against her, Saida Hamid there making a big U-turn. Take a look at what she said previously and now.
हमारा जिगर सब इस वक्त यहाँ मुसलमानों का जो हाल हो रहा है और उनको बांग्लादेशी और अच्छा बांग्लादेशी बोलने में क्या गुनाह है? अरे भाई बांग्लादेशी भी तो इंसान है। अरे दुनिया इतनी बड़ी है, बांग्लादेशी भी यहाँ हो सकते हैं। किसी का राइट डिप्राइव तो नहीं कर रहे। ये कहना कि उसका राइट डिप्राइव कर रहे हैं, उसका राइट डिप्राइव कर रहे हैं, ये एक बहुत ही इट्स अ वेरी वेरी ट्रबलसम एंड एन एक्सट्रीमली mischievous and very detrimental to humanity.
I have the most beautiful experience of Assam. Since 1997 Women's Commission, Planning Commission में मैं हर आसाम के चप्पे चप्पे में मैं घूमी हूँ. कभी मैंने एक सस्ती सी साड़ी पहन के मैंने कभी कॉन्शियस नहीं थी कि मैं मुसलमान हूँ या मैं औरत हूँ. इस वक्त suddenly my name is all over the media. Bangladeshi it's become a curse word now. It's become a horrendous word now. अगर आ भी गए हैं कुछ बांग्लादेशी, okay, so sit down with them, negotiate with them and bring and escort them back.
And my colleague Ratnadeep Chaudhary is joining me with more details. Ratnadeep, tell us why this U-turn has come now.
Well, it seems that after what she said when she visited Assam, the part of that fact-finding team, the former Planning Commission member Saida Hamid, actually she was criticized a lot, particularly inside Assam as well as on social media as well, and therefore it seems that now she has done this U-turn where she says that those Bangladeshis who reside in Assam, they need to be escorted back. But remember, in her first statement while she was in Assam, she spoke about humanitarian ground to be shown towards the illegal Bangladeshis. So therefore, it seems that the kind of political attack also which was done on this, and particularly the criticism from the people in Assam as well as the Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, all this has led to this U-turn that has taken place. Right.
Thank you so much, Ratnadeep, for joining us with those quick updates. And it is the news all Swifties have been waiting for. Taylor Swift has just said yes to a forever love story with Travis Kelce. After nearly a year of dating, the Grammy winner and the Kansas City Chiefs tight end are engaged. They shared on August 26th as the couple announced in a joint post, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married."
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India, it matters to India, and it matters to me, and it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru, only on NDTV 24/7.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Well, the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves and Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
India's defence game is no longer evolving, it's transforming. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025 brings together the sharpest minds. One day, big conversations, bold ideas. The mission is clear. Stay ready, stay ahead. Leading from the front, the Honourable Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025, warfare in the 21st century.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
NDTV 24/7 is India's #1 English news channel on YouTube. Credible, compelling, always ahead of the curve. Thank you for choosing NDTV 24/7 as your trusted source for news.
The biggest Modi visit in 5 years.
biggest India-China icebreaker. The biggest tango of the tiger and dragon. NDTV reports from Ground Zero, China.
Modi's first China visit since Galwan. I'll be tracking his every step.
The news breaks, the body language, the mind games of a new beginning.
Live from Tianjin, NDTV ensures you miss nothing.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसा हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है.
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Rajasthan is history, culture and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years. The colors, the culture and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India. It matters to India. And it matters to me. And it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Emergency meet in Jammu and Kashmir as massive flash floods from Dora district leave rivers and streams in spate across Jammu region. Jammu and Srinagar highway affected, floods affect Pakistan as well, and the meteorological department predicts a very heavy rain. The army officer who assaulted 4 SpiceJet employees at Srinagar airport last month has been put on the no-fly list for 5 years. A historic moment for the Indian Navy as 2 stealth warships, the INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri, are inducted to the Indian Navy. In the Dharmasthala controversy, now Public Works Minister Satish Jarkiholy demands an NIA probe, even as the State Home Minister had firmly declared that the SIT was competent enough to probe the case. Purification ritual underway at Kerala temple after an influencer who was non-Hindu washed her feet in the pond. Influencer entered the sacred pond, called it a mistake. A cloudburst in Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district has triggered flash floods in the region. Continuous heavy rainfall across the district has triggered landslides, leading to the closure of several link roads as well as stretches of the national highway. Almost all the rivers and streams are flowing above or close to the danger mark, submerging a number of low-lying areas and roads in several parts of Jammu and Kashmir. The visuals on your screens show Ramban, Rajouri, Anantnag, Kathua, Doda and Jammu. You can see these horrific visuals which can tell you the height of atrocities that the people living in the area have to face. Now, Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, has said that the situation in many parts of Jammu province is quite serious and he'll be taking the next available flight from Srinagar to Jammu to personally monitor the developing situation. Now let's talk about the visuals that are most defining that we have been tracking since morning. First, look at this visual. The bridge caves in. This is in Jammu. Vehicles were stranded in the flood. Tawi bridge collapses. Vehicles were struck for several hours. Locals came out of their cars to rescue these people, but this is one of the horrifying images that is coming in. In the next visual, you can see that several cars are submerged in the flood water as rivers flow in full spate in Jammu and Kashmir. These are the visuals from the Jammu region where you can see that several locals are stranded. These are the visuals that are coming in from the low-lying areas as well as after some bridges collapsed. Remember, Vaishno Devi Yatra has been halted after such horrific visuals are coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Now, these are the visuals that are coming in from Doda district of Jammu and Kashmir. Rivers are flowing in full spate. Several landslides have taken place in the area. Internet connection has been forced to cut off as the rivers continue to disrupt power connectivity and locals connectivity, and the vehicles continue to remain stranded where they were. When we talk about multiple rivers in the area, one of the river which is most scary is the Tawi river. It has breached the danger level. Continuous rainfall has made the situation even worse in the area. The next visual we have is from Doda district where the situation remains grim. There is a flood-like situation in several parts of the area. Locals have been shifted and rehabilitated to the upper regions from the low-lying regions, and the continuous rainfall which the Indian Meteorological Department has predicted that it will continue with more rainfall. The situation is expected to become more grim. Let's also look at some ground reports that we have for you.
NDTV team has been travelling from Chandigarh to Doda, and right now we are reporting from Pathankot that this road which is leading towards Jammu, that has already been blocked by the police official. So we will talk to the in charge who has been managing here.
आगे अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ना SHO साहब ने फ़ोन किया है कि आगे पानी आ गया रोड के ऊपर, तो इसलिए सारी ट्रैफिक जो है बंद कर दी हमने। नहर ओवरफ्लो हो गया था, पानी बाहर आ रहा सड़क रोड के ऊपर। हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
जिसके कारण जम्मू को जाने के लिए पूरा ब्लॉक कर दिया गया।
ब्लॉक अभी फिलहाल पानी कम होएगा तो फिर छोड़ देंगे उसी टाइम।
तो पानी कम होने का कैसे पता चलेगा आपको?
हमारी फोर्स लगी हुई है, हमें मिनट बाद बता देंगे उसी टाइम।
तो आप इसीलिए प्रिकॉशन ले रहे हैं ताकि कोई भी कैजुअलिटी या कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंट ना हो।
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल। जितनी देर हमें जम्मू पुलिस हमें नई इन्फॉर्मेशन देती उतनी देर हम किसी को नहीं भेजेंगे।
Pictures from ground, we can see the traffic which is going towards Jammu that had already been halted by the police officials here. I'll request my video to show all these pictures from the ground at this point of time towards Jammu. No vehicle is being allowed by the police official to move from this place because they have already got information from the adjoining police that there is a huge water that is on the bridge and bridge has already been affected. To avoid any casualty, to avoid any incident and accident, they have decided to stop the whole traffic which is moving from Pathankot towards Jammu. With Vijay, Rajesh Kumar, this is Group Singh Sheena for NDTV, Pathankot, Punjab.
And as we continue to track what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir, in an unfortunate incident of landslide near Vaishno Devi Yatra, 5 people have lost their lives and 14 others have been injured. Rescue operations are underway. 14 people remain injured in the tragedy. Remember, the situation is grim in Jammu and Kashmir after continuous rainfall in the area. And dowry cases are on rise. Why are we talking about it? This comes behind when in the greater Noida of Uttar Pradesh, a woman's life was snuffed in seconds over what? Just dowry. But today her last rites were performed where both the sides took part. Nikki's in-laws also took part in her last rites. Both families were present. Nikki's last rites took place at in-laws' house. An FIR complaint has been filed after Nikki's last rites were performed. Cops are probing the angle in why, who was behind actually what happened when this young woman's life was lost after she was burnt over alleged dowry harassment. Now, Nikki's father spoke to NDTV and said that only father-in-law attended the last rites while the whole family was absconding. Take a look at the reactions coming in.
इस वक्त हम हैं आरोपी विपिन के घर के बाहर। 21 अगस्त की शाम को 5 बजे के बाद यहाँ पर क्या कुछ हुआ उस पर बात करने के लिए मेरे साथ हैं विपिन के बुआ के लड़के मोनू। और यहाँ पर कई सारे सीसीटीवी कैमरे लगे हैं जिनमें 3 कैमरों का फुटेज हमारे पास है। क्या कुछ हुआ और क्या यहाँ पर एक्टिविटी रही, इस पर हम मोनू से बात करेंगे। मोनू, ये कैमरे जो लगे हैं आसपास, कहाँ कैमरे लगे हैं और इनमें क्या कुछ कैप्चर हुआ?
इनमें सर पूरी रिकॉर्डिंग है, हमारे पास पूरी रिकॉर्डिंग है। एक कैमरा ये लग रहा, उधर रोड पे सामने कैमरा लग रहा डेयरी पे, इधर ये ब्यूटी पार्लर सोनू ब्यूटी पार्लर पे लग रहा, ये कैमरा लगे हुए, इधर भी कैमरा है जी।
3 कैमरे लगे हैं
जी।
अच्छा, तो क्या ये तीनों कैमरे काम कर रहे थे?
ये कैमरा उस टाइम में लाइट भाग गई थी, इसमें तो ये काम नहीं कर रहा था, बाकी वो कैमरे दोनों कैमरे काम कर रहे थे, वो दोनों सामने वाले।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी।
तो उन कैमरों में क्या एक्टिविटी कैप्चर हुई, क्या कुछ उसमें आया है?
जब इनने आग लगाई तो पूरा परिवार नीचे था, वो क्या नाम विपिन नीचे था और हमारी बुआ भी बाहर ही थी, ठीक है, और वो क्या नाम बड़ा वाला रोहित वो भी बाहर ही था, ठीक है। नीचे ये क्या नाम फूफा जी भी नीचे बैठे थे दुकान पे, ठीक है। ये दोनों बहन ही ऊपर थी, बच्चे भी नीचे थे।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी।
अच्छा, और ऊपर 2 बहनें थी?
दोनों बहनें थी ऊपर।
फिर क्या कुछ हुआ उसके बाद? क्या हुआ?
उनके बाद ये हुआ जी, उसने जो मतलब जो आग लगा ली ऊपर से, क्या नाम छोटी वाली ये वीडियो बना रही है, बड़ी वाली जो कंचन है, तो ये क्या नाम ये कह रही कि बहन तेने ये क्या कर लिया, ठीक है, कोई किसी का नहीं है ये बोले। फिर हमारे फूफा जी को पता लगी, नीचे आवाज हल्ला हुआ, फूफा जी भक्के गए ऊपर को, क्या नाम है, फिर वो कहते हैं तुमने तो, मैं क्या नाम है, अरे हमारा घर क्या हो गया, मैं तो बर्बाद हो गया, ये कर दिया। तो वो पूरी वीडियो में आ रहा सारी चीजें। दया 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 जल्दी आ, वो हमारे बुआ जी को बुला रहे नीचे से।
बच्चे कहाँ थे उस वक्त? 3 बच्चे
यहाँ खड़े थे जी, यहाँ नीचे थे, क्या नाम यहीं खेल रहे थे बराबर, विपिन भी यहीं था बाहर था, ठीक है। ये पाइप पानी की तैयारी कर रहा था, गाड़ी में पानी लगाने के लिए, जो है गाड़ी धोने के लिए तैयारी कर रहा था।
ये दुकान किसकी है?
ये दुकान विपिन की है, हमारे मतलब विपिन की है, रोहित की, विपिन की।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी।
दोनों दुकान में बैठते हैं?
हाँ जी, दोनों दुकान पे।
तो आपके मुताबिक झगड़ा किस बात को लेकर था?
झगड़ा था जी, झगड़ा भी कुछ नहीं था, इंस्टाग्राम को लेकर था। इंस्टाग्राम पर वो थोड़ा बनाती थी वीडियो वगैरह, तो वो ये बोलता था विपिन को और सबको, जो आजकल सामाजिक लोग हैं सब लोग ये कहते थे कि भाई तेरी घरवाली क्या कर रही है, ये सब समाज में गलत है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। तो भद्दे भद्दे कमेंट करते थे। इसने बोला भाई ऐसे मत करो, हमारी बेइज्जती हो रही है। तो
ये था। उसके बाद ब्यूटी पार्लर में काम करती थी, ब्यूटी पार्लर को सारा पैसा वहाँ अपने देती थी, यहाँ कोई 1 रुपया नहीं देती थी। ये 2 हैं, ब्यूटी पार्लर और इंस्टाग्राम। हाँ, ये मानती नहीं थी, इनको बोला समझाया, फिर अपना गांव चली गई, पंचायत करके यहाँ से लोग लेके 10-20 लोग गए, वहाँ से पंचायत करके बुलाए कि ये रखा कि इंस्टाग्राम का ये नहीं चलाएंगे हम। 2-4 दिन नहीं चलाया, उसके बाद चलाने के बाद फिर चलाने लगी आने के बाद, ठीक है। ब्यूटी पार्लर बंद करा दिए, फूफा ने मैंने को ब्यूटी पार्लर नहीं खुलवाएंगे, तो उसका विरोध चल रहा था ये।
Now, the brutal murder of 26-year-old Nikki Bhati, burnt alive in her matrimonial home in Noida, allegedly over dowry demands, has reopened a window into her husband's violent past. Nikki's husband, Vipin Bhati, was already named in a 2024 case of assault and exploitation filed by another woman in an episode that also involved Nikki herself. For more details, my colleague Tanushka is joining me. Take a look.
There are various facets that are opening up to this alleged dowry death case, wherein we understand that the last rites of Nikki weren't performed by her own, parents and families, but by her in-laws' families. The last rites was performed by her father-in-law, Satyavir Bhati, is currently in judicial custody along with Nikki's mother-in-law, brother-in-law and husband Vipin Bhati as well. So all of these 4 people have been arrested by the police and have been sent to 14 days of judicial custody. This is what we know on the investigation. So far as the entire case is concerned of the alleged dowry death happening over the course of the past 9 years. The victim's family, her father, her mother, both of them have spoken to us and have said that over the course of these 9 years, Nikki was tortured, assaulted by her husband Vipin Bhati. There's another video that has surfaced of Vipin Bhati allegedly with some other woman as well, and this is something that Nikki's father has also corroborated and said that Vipin had affairs, which is why there were a lot of fights that were brewing between both husband and wife, and they were trying to, both the families and the entire community together also sat down to sort out these issues, and a conclusion was also reached in February, and there were peace talks happening as well. However, of course, this goes ahead months later, and in August it escalates to such a level where Vipin Bhati allegedly lights his wife on fire and kills her, burns her alive in front of their 7-year-old son. Their mere 7-year-old son has also given testimony and said that he has seen his mother being burnt by his father. Now that is of course a haunting image for a 7-year-old child to have, that he will carry with him lifelong. What we also know about this case is that Vipin and his family had issues with, the Instagram presence of Nikki and her elder sister Kanchan as well. And they had issues with Nikki having her own business. Remember that she ran her own salon, and this is somewhere from where she had her own earnings as well. Now, what Nikki's family claims that Vipin Bhati used to constantly ask her for her earnings from her salon as well, and was not happy with the fact that Nikki sent the earnings from her salon back to her parents. Of course, a lot of questions still remain with respect to this case. We do know that dowry is illegal. So why is it that, in the first place that this exchange happened, and not just at the time of the wedding in 2016, but also 9 years down the line, such exchanges and dowry demands were going on being made. With camera person Sachin, this is Tanushka Datta for NDTV.
Now, tracking more dowry harassment stories, this is from Rajasthan. A school lecturer set herself on fire along with her 3-year-old daughter in Rajasthan's Jodhpur district on Friday. While the daughter died on the spot, her mother died during treatment on Saturday morning. Police have recovered an alleged suicide note that claimed she was being harassed by her husband and in-laws over dowry. An FIR has been filed against the husband and the in-laws. Here are all the crucial reactions you need to listen into.
बच्ची को मानसिक रूप से इतना प्रताड़ित किया उनके सास ससुर और पति ने, तो उसने मजबूरी में ये कदम उठाया। हमको थोड़ा बहुत बताती थी, ज़्यादा डिटेल में बताती नहीं, और जब हम पूछते तो बोला ठीक है चल रहा है, परंतु इतना प्रताड़ित मजबूरी में उसको ये कदम उठाना पड़ा।
ये कोई लेटर मिलने की बात है, सुसाइड लेटर लिखा था, घर में भी था वहाँ।
वो सुसाइड लेटर पुलिस ने जब्त किया है, उसके जो ज्योग्राफी का जो लैब है स्कूल के अंदर, वहाँ से डिप्टी साहब ने बरामद किया है। अब उसमें क्या लिखा हुआ हमको मालूम नहीं। बरामद किया है हमारे सामने और सील बल्दी पपे में पे किया है और हमको भरोसा है पुलिस फेयर कार्रवाई करेगी। बच्ची बहुत समझदार थी और वेल एजुकेटेड थी, नेट पास थी और मैं जोधपुर से आया, मेरे पास मेरे भतीज सुनील का फ़ोन आया, ऐसा हो गया। मैं यहाँ से गाड़ी लेके रवाना हुआ, वहाँ पहुँचा तो सारे लोग खड़े थे, डांगी आवाज़ पुलिस और मैं साथ में घुसी। बच्ची चिल्ला रही थी और कोई कपड़ा उसके ऊपर नहीं डाला हुआ था। हमने कपड़ा डाला और लपेट कर मेरी गाड़ी में हॉस्पिटल लेके आए। हॉस्पिटल में एएसआई साहब ने जो वीडियो बनाया उसका छोटा सा, उसमें उसने 3 नाम बताए, फिर उसका गला रुध गया कि मेरी पति दिलीप, मेरी सास और नड़न ने मेरे को इतना टॉर्चर किया, ऐसा शब्द बोली वो, और फिर गला बंद हो गया उसका। और 1-2 नाम और भी बताती लेकिन वो बोल नहीं सकी।
And soon after, the centre cleared a rupees 62,000 crore deal to buy 97 more LCA Mark 1A fighter aircraft. India is close to signing a deal of around $1 billion with the American firm GE for supplying 113 more GE 404 engines for the indigenous combat aircraft. Indian state-owned firm Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has already inked a deal of 99 GE 404 engines with the American firm for the initial 83 LCA Mark 1A fighter jets ordered by the Indian Air Force, and these 113 would be in addition to that. My colleague Vishnu Shom has more details. Take a look.
Well, I think the process of negotiations would have started, and the fact that India has already, in a 62,000 crore rupee deal, gone ahead with ordering several more Tejas Mark 1A fighters means that all of these fighters would need engines. The engine in question is the GE 404. It's already being used in the Tejas Mark 1A fighters, which are just very slowly entering service. But now the government of India has actually put a great deal of trust on General Electric. They've won a massive order, the value of which would be more than $1 billion, to supply, more than 100 GE 404 engines for the forthcoming Tejas Mark 1A fighters, which they put on order. And therefore now General Electric, which has been a bit slow in terms of delivery of the previous lot of engines for the Tejas Mark 1A. Remember, there's a huge order, a previous one, which has already been signed and done. They need to speed up the process of supplying these engines. And simultaneously, they would need to get into a larger agreement with the government of India to set up a joint manufacturing facility, I believe, over here in India, to manufacture an engine called the GE 414, which would be the engine which India wants for the Tejas Mark 2, which is a more advanced version of the Tejas Mark 1A. But that's a later story, but big business for General Electric. But let's hope the deliveries take place on time.
And now the army officer who assaulted 4 SpiceJet employees at Srinagar airport last month has been put on the no-fly list for 5 years. As per the Directorate General of Civil Aviation is concerned, the top aviation body has cracked its whip after this unruly behavior was observed on July 26. The army officer, who was scheduled to board a flight to Delhi, entered the airport carrying 2 cabin bags when the airline ground staff stopped him. For domestic flights, as we all know, cabin luggage weighing more than 7 kg attracted additional charges. He was informed for the same, but he became irate and started misbehaving. And now a 5-year ban has been slapped on him. On that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching NDTV.
Tamil Nadu.
Now the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves and Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash. Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
India's defence game is no longer evolving, it's transforming. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025 brings together the sharpest minds. One day, big conversations, bold ideas. The mission is clear. Stay ready. Stay ahead. Leading from the front, the Honourable Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh. The NDTV Defence Summit 2025. Warfare.
And now, former Planning Commission member Saida Hamid has taken a U-turn from her earlier version of batting for Bangladeshis to have voting rights in India. And she said that the word Bangladeshi has become a cuss word. It has become a horrendous word. Even if a few Bangladeshis have come in, the government should sit down, negotiate with them and escort them back. This is a big U-turn from her earlier remarks where she said that the Bangladeshis who have come to India, they should be given voting rights and they should be allowed to stay in the country. Listen in to exactly what she said, and now her U-turn coming in after facing much backlash and protests against her.
हमारा जिगर सब इस वक्त यहाँ मुसलमानों का जो हाल हो रहा है और उनको बांग्लादेशी और अच्छा बांग्लादेशी बोलने में क्या गुनाह है? अरे भाई बांग्लादेशी भी तो इंसान है। अरे दुनिया इतनी बड़ी है, बांग्लादेशी भी यहाँ हो सकते हैं। किसी का राइट डिप्राइव तो नहीं कर रहे। ये कहना कि उसका राइट डिप्राइव कर रहे हैं, उसका राइट डिप्राइव कर रहे हैं, ये एक बहुत ही इट्स अ वेरी वेरी ट्रबलसम एंड एन एक्सट्रीमली मिस्chievous and very detrimental to humanity.
I have the most beautiful experience of Assam. Since 1997 Women's Commission, Planning Commission में मैं हर आसाम के चप्पे-चप्पे में मैं घूमी हूँ. कभी मैंने एक सस्ती सी साड़ी पहन के मैंने कभी कॉन्शियस नहीं थी कि मैं मुसलमान हूँ या मैं औरत हूँ. इस वक्त suddenly my name is all over the media. Bangladeshi it's become a curse word now. It's become a horrendous word now. अगर आ भी गए हैं कुछ बांग्लादेशी, okay, so sit down with them, negotiate with them and bring and escort them back.
Well, it seems that after what she said when she visited Assam as a part of that fact-finding team, the former Planning Commission member Saida Hamid, actually she was criticized a lot, particularly inside Assam as well as on social media as well, and therefore it seems that now she has done this U-turn where she says that those Bangladeshis who reside in Assam, they need to be escorted back. But remember, in her first statement while she was in Assam, she spoke about humanitarian ground to be shown towards the illegal Bangladeshis. So therefore, it seems that the kind of political attack also which was done on this, and particularly the criticism from the people in Assam as well as the Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, all this has led to this U-turn that has taken place.
It is a big day for Maruti Suzuki India as Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated a new assembly line for its first ever battery electric vehicle, the e-Vitara, and the new plant for manufacturing batteries for its vehicles. Mugdha Mishra, editor of NDTV Auto, was on ground and has completed this report. Take a look.
Modi has inaugurated Maruti Suzuki's assembly line for their battery electric vehicle e-Vitara. You can see both left-hand drive and right-hand drive versions of this e-Vitara displayed here, and that's because e-Vitara is going to be made in India, made for the world. Maruti Suzuki tells us they are going to export it to over 100 countries. First country where the export starts is UK, subsequently Japan, and Europe will also join the list. But over 100 countries, there's another interesting aspect, and that's the strong hybrid that you see here. We all know this is Grand Vitara, but what is new here is the battery assembly. Now, the Grand Vitara, which is a strong hybrid, its battery is going to get assembled here in Gujarat. You can see the assembly parts here. This is the graphite NMC lithium These are the anode separator, cathode and cathode separator, which gets made now here in Gujarat to this jelly roll, and this is the cell which becomes the part of this battery pack. Eventually, this is what goes in the strong hybrid Grand Vitara. This battery cell will also be a part of all the strong hybrids that are going to come from Maruti and Toyota stable as well. Now, I must also tell you that this battery manufacturing plant is a joint venture between Toshiba, Denso and Suzuki, with Suzuki holding 50% of the partnership. Now, what was interesting today was Prime Minister's speech, where he focused clearly on Atmanirbhar Bharat and urged states to compete for better ease of business, to compete amongst each other for better investments. He also emphasized on Swadeshi, insisting that Swadeshi does not mean that investment cannot come from abroad. Investments can come from all over the world, but the sweat, the blood of Indians should go into the manufacturing process, clearly focusing on improving India's manufacturing prowess. Mugdha Mishra with Azam Siddiqui.
And Ganpati Bappa Moria to all our viewers. As the 10-day Ganesh festival begins, festive fervor grips the entire nation. This is part of the Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations, and this is the first look of the Lal Bagcha Raja. Remember, a huge crowd is waiting to just take those darshans, and this is the first look coming in of the Lal Bagcha Raja. Tomorrow is when Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations will take part, and the whole nation is only ready to take blessings of Lord Ganesha, and leaving you with those pictures.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है?
मैडम एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Rajasthan is history, culture and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years. The colors, the culture and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power. What is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
Emergency meet in Jammu and Kashmir as massive flash floods from Doda district leave rivers and streams in spate across Jammu region. Jammu and Srinagar highway affected, floods affect Pakistan as well, and the meteorological department predicts a very heavy rain. The army officer who assaulted 4 SpiceJet employees at Srinagar airport last month has been put on the no-fly list for 5 years. A historic moment for the Indian Navy as 2 stealth warships, the INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri, are inducted to the Indian Navy. In the Dharmasthala controversy, now Public Works Minister Satish Jarkiholy demands an NIA probe, even as the State Home Minister had firmly declared that the SIT was competent enough to probe the case. Purification ritual underway at Kerala temple after an influencer who was non-Hindu washed her feet in the pond. Influencer entered the sacred pond, called it a mistake. A cloudburst in Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district has triggered flash floods in the region. Continuous heavy rainfall across the district has triggered landslides, leading to the closure of several link roads as well as stretches of the national highway. Almost all the rivers and streams are flowing above or close to the danger mark, submerging a number of low-lying areas and roads in several parts of Jammu and Kashmir. The visuals on your screens show Ramban, Rajouri, Anantnag, Kathua, Doda and Jammu. You can see these horrific visuals which can tell you the height of atrocities that the people living in the area have to face. Now, Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, has said that the situation in many parts of Jammu province is quite serious and he'll be taking the next available flight from Srinagar to Jammu to personally monitor the developing situation. Now let's talk about the visuals that are most defining that we have been tracking since morning. First, look at this visual. The bridge caves in. This is in Jammu. Vehicles were stranded in the flood. Tawi bridge collapses. Vehicles were struck for several hours. Locals came out of their cars to rescue these people, but this is one of the horrifying images that is coming in. In the next visual, you can see that several cars are submerged in the flood water as rivers flow in full spate in Jammu and Kashmir. These are the visuals from the Jammu region where you can see that several locals are stranded. These are the visuals that are coming in from the low-lying areas as well as after some bridges collapsed. Remember, Vaishno Devi Yatra has been halted after such horrific visuals are coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Now, these are the visuals that are coming in from Doda district of Jammu and Kashmir. Rivers are flowing in full spate. Several landslides have taken place in the area. Internet connection has been forced to cut off as rivers continue to disrupt power connectivity and locals connectivity, and the vehicles continue to remain stranded where they were. When we talk about multiple rivers in the area, one of the river which is most scary is the Tawi river. It has breached the danger level. Continuous rainfall has made the situation even worse in the area. The next visual we have is from Doda district, where the situation remains grim. There is a flood-like situation in several parts of the area. Locals have been shifted and rehabilitated to the upper regions from the low-lying regions, and the continuous rainfall, which the Indian Meteorological Department has predicted that it will continue with more rainfall, the situation is expected to become more grim. Let's also look at some ground reports that we have for you.
NDTV team has been travelling from Chandigarh to Doda, and right now we are reporting from Pathankot that this road which is leading towards Jammu, that has already been blocked by the police official. So we will talk to the in charge who has been managing here.
आगे अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ना SHO साहब ने फ़ोन किया है कि आगे पानी आ गया रोड के ऊपर, इसलिए सारी ट्रैफिक जो है बंद कर दी हमने। नहर ओवरफ्लो हो गया था, पानी बाहर आ रहा है सड़क रोड के ऊपर। हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
जिसके कारण जम्मू को जाने के लिए पूरा ब्लॉक कर दिया गया।
ब्लॉक अभी फिलहाल पानी कम होएगा तो फिर छोड़ देंगे उसी टाइम।
तो पानी कम होने का कैसे पता चलेगा आपको?
हमारी फोर्स लगी हुई है, हमें मिनट बाद बता देंगे उसी टाइम।
तो आप इसीलिए प्रिकॉशन ले रहे हैं ताकि कोई भी कैजुअलिटी या कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंट ना हो?
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल। जितनी देर हमें जम्मू पुलिस हमें नई इन्फॉर्मेशन देती, उतनी देर हम किसी को नहीं भेजेंगे।
Pictures from ground, we can see the traffic which is going towards Jammu that had already been halted by the police officials here. I'll request my video to show all these pictures from the ground at this point of time. Towards Jammu, no vehicle is being allowed by the police official to move from this place because they have already got information from the adjoining police that there is a huge water that is on the bridge, and bridge has already been affected. To avoid any casualty, to avoid any incident and accident, they have decided to stop the whole traffic which is moving from Pathankot towards Jammu. With Vijay, Rajesh Kumar, this is Group Singh Sheena for NDTV, Pathankot, Punjab.
And as we continue to track what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir, in an unfortunate incident of landslide near Vaishno Devi Yatra, 5 people have lost their lives and 14 others have been injured. Rescue operations are underway. 14 people remain injured in the tragedy. Remember, the situation is grim in Jammu and Kashmir after continuous rainfall in the area. And dowry cases are on rise. Why are we talking about it? This comes behind when in the greater Noida of Uttar Pradesh, a woman's life was snuffed in seconds over what? Just dowry. But today her last rites were performed where both the sides took part. Nikki's in-laws also took part in her last rites. Both families were present. Nikki's last rites took place at in-laws' house. An FIR complaint has been filed after Nikki's last rites were performed. Cops are probing the angle in why and who was behind actually what happened when this young woman's life was lost after she was burnt over alleged dowry harassment. Now, Nikki's father spoke to NDTV and said that only father-in-law attended the last rites while the whole family was absconding. Take a look at the reactions coming in.
इस वक्त हम हैं आरोपी विपिन के घर के बाहर। 21 अगस्त की शाम को 5 बजे के बाद यहाँ पर क्या कुछ हुआ उस पर बात करने के लिए मेरे साथ हैं विपिन के बुआ के लड़के मोनू, और यहाँ पर कई सारे सीसीटीवी कैमरे लगे हैं जिनमें 3 कैमरों का फुटेज हमारे पास है। क्या कुछ हुआ और क्या यहाँ पर एक्टिविटी रही, इस पर हम मोनू से बात करेंगे। मोनू, ये कैमरे जो लगे हैं आसपास, कहाँ कहाँ कैमरे लगे हैं और इनमें क्या कुछ कैप्चर हुआ?
इनमें सर पूरी रिकॉर्डिंग है, हमारे पास पूरी रिकॉर्डिंग है। एक कैमरा ये लग रहा, उधर रोड पे सामने कैमरा लग रहा डेयरी पे, इधर ये ब्यूटी पार्लर सोनू ब्यूटी पार्लर पे लग रहा, ये कैमरा लगे हुए, इधर भी कैमरा है जी।
3 कैमरे लगे हैं
जी।
अच्छा, तो क्या ये तीनों कैमरे काम कर रहे थे?
ये कैमरा उस टाइम में लाइट भाग गई थी, इसमें तो ये काम नहीं कर रहा था, बाकी वो कैमरे दोनों कैमरे काम कर रहे थे, वो दोनों सामने वाले।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी।
तो उन कैमरों में क्या एक्टिविटी कैप्चर हुई, क्या कुछ उसमें आया है?
जब इनने आग लगाई तो पूरा परिवार नीचे था, वो क्या नाम विपिन नीचे था और हमारी बुआ भी बाहर ही थी, ठीक है, और वो क्या नाम बड़ा वाला रोहित वो भी बाहर ही था, ठीक है। नीचे ये क्या नाम फूफा जी भी नीचे बैठे थे दुकान पे, ठीक है। ये दोनों बहन ही ऊपर थी, बच्चे भी नीचे थे।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी।
अच्छा, और ऊपर 2 बहनें थी कि
दोनों बहनें थी ऊपर।
फिर क्या कुछ हुआ उसके बाद? क्या हुआ?
उनके बाद ये हुआ जी, उसने जो मतलब जो आग लगा ली ऊपर से, क्या नाम, छोटी वाली ये वीडियो बना रही है, बड़ी वाली जो कंचन है, तो ये क्या नाम, ये कह रही कि बहन तेने ये क्या कर लिया, ठीक है, कोई किसी का नहीं है, ये बोले। फिर हमारे फूफा जी को पता लगी, नीचे आवाज हल्ला हुआ, फूफा जी भग के गए ऊपर को, क्या नाम है, फिर वो कहते हैं तुमने तो, मैं क्या नाम है, अरे हमारा घर क्या हो गया, मैं तो बर्बाद हो गया, ये कर दिया। तो वो पूरी वीडियो में आ रहा सारी चीजें। दया दया दया, जल्दी आ जल्दी आ। वो हमारे बुआ जी को बुला रहे नीचे से।
बच्चे कहाँ थे उस वक्त? 3 बच्चे
यहाँ खड़े थे जी, यहाँ नीचे थे, क्या नाम, यहीं खेल रहे थे बराबर, विपिन भी यहीं था बाहर था। ठीक है, ये पाइप पानी की तैयारी कर रहा था, वो गाड़ी में पानी लगाने के लिए, जो है गाड़ी धोने के लिए तैयारी कर रहा था।
ये दुकान किसकी है?
ये दुकान विपिन की है, हमारे मतलब विपिन की है, रोहित की, विपिन की।
अच्छा।
हाँ जी,
दोनों दुकान में बैठते हैं?
हाँ जी, दोनों दुकान पे।
तो आपके मुताबिक झगड़ा किस बात को लेकर था?
झगड़ा था जी, झगड़ा भी कुछ नहीं था, इंस्टाग्राम को लेकर था। इंस्टाग्राम पर वो थोड़ा बनाती थी वीडियो वगैरह, तो वो ये बोलता था विपिन को और सबको, जो आजकल सामाजिक लोग हैं, सब लोग ये कहते थे कि भाई तेरी घरवाली क्या कर रही है, ये सब समाज में गलत है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। तो भद्दे भद्दे कमेंट करते थे। इसने बोला भाई ऐसे मत करो, हमारी बेइज्जती हो रही है। तो ये था। उसके बाद ब्यूटी पार्लर में काम करती थी, ब्यूटी पार्लर को सारा पैसा वहाँ अपने देती थी, यहाँ कोई 1 रुपया नहीं देती थी। ये 2 हैं, ब्यूटी पार्लर और इंस्टाग्राम। हाँ, ये मानती नहीं थी, इनको बोला समझाया, फिर अपने गांव चली गई, पंचायत करके यहाँ से लोग लेके 10-20 लोग गए, वहाँ से पंचायत करके बुलाए कि ये रखा कि इंस्टाग्राम का ये नहीं चलाएंगे हम। 2-4 दिन नहीं चलाया, उसके बाद चलाने के बाद फिर चलाने लगी आने के बाद। ठीक है, ब्यूटी पार्लर बंद करा दिए, फूफा ने मैंने को ब्यूटी पार्लर नहीं खुलवाएंगे, तो उसका विरोध चल रहा था ये।
Now, the brutal murder of 26-year-old Nikki Bhati, burnt alive in her matrimonial home in Noida, allegedly over dowry demands, has reopened a window into her husband's violent past. Nikki's husband, Vipin Bhati, was already named in a 2024 case of assault and exploitation filed by another woman in an episode that also involved Nikki herself. For more details, my colleague Tanushka is joining me. Take a look.
There are various facets that are opening up to this alleged dowry death case, wherein we understand that the last rites of Nikki weren't performed by her own, parents and families, but by her in-laws' families. The last rites was performed by her father-in-law, Satyavir Bhati, is currently in judicial custody along with Nikki's mother-in-law, brother-in-law and husband Vipin Bhati as well. So all of these 4 people have been arrested by the police and have been sent to 14 days of judicial custody. This is what we know on the investigation. So far as the entire case is concerned of the alleged dowry death happening over the course of the past 9 years, the victim's family, her father, her mother, both of them have spoken to us and have said that over the course of these 9 years, Nikki was tortured, assaulted by her husband Vipin Bhati. There's another video that has surfaced of Vipin Bhati allegedly with some other woman as well, and this is something that Nikki's father has also corroborated and said that Vipin had affairs, which is why there were a lot of fights that were brewing between both husband and wife, and they were trying to, both the families and the entire community together also sat down to sort out these issues, and a conclusion was also reached in February, and there were peace talks happening as well. However, of course, this goes ahead months later, and in August it escalates to such a level where Vipin Bhati allegedly lights his wife on fire and kills her, burns her alive in front of their 7-year-old son.